And thank you, Amy. We do have a quorum, so we'll begin. Good evening. I'm Christopher Dustin, Chair of the Thompson Inland Wetlands Commission, and I'm calling this we missed July, August 12th, 2025 meeting of the Commission to order at 7:01 p.m. We're meeting via Zoom and we'll be following our regular protocol, which means that this meeting is being recorded for audio and visual content under the control of the Zoom host. For sound quality, the general rule for this meeting is that everyone will remain muted except when speaking. Commissioners and staff will generally remain muted except when speaking or voting and will generally have their video turned on throughout the meeting. Applicants, their representatives, and the public may leave their video on or off, but are asked to turn their video on when speaking. That said, no one for whom video is not an option will be precluded from speaking at the appropriate time. All participants will please state their name for the record each and every time they speak. Please raise your hand on video or by using the raise your hand feature located at the bottom of your screen to let me know that you'd like to speak, and I shall recognize you. Please don't speak until you are recognized. If your hand is raised and I fail to see it, you may signal me verbally that you wish to speak. Members of the general public may only speak during those portions of the meeting set aside on the agenda for citizens' comments. There are two such opportunities, one near the beginning, the other toward the end of the meeting. Members of the general public may also offer comments during the public hearing portion of this meeting, as indicated on the agenda. Individual applicants, permittees, and violators whose names appear on the agenda and/or their representatives will be invited to speak when that agenda item is discussed. I must remind everyone that if anyone in attendance speaks out of turn in a disruptive or inappropriate manner or for an inordinate length of time, they may be prevented from doing so and, if necessary, ejected from the meeting at my discretion. We do have a very full agenda this evening. For that reason, speaking time will generally be limited to 3 minutes at my discretion, with the exception of the public hearing where 5 minutes per speaker will be allotted. Those are the preliminaries. I'll now call the roll. Commissioner Langer.
Present.
Commissioner Morano.
Present.
Commissioner Obert.
Present.
Commissioner O'Neill.
Present.
Staff members present this evening include Margaret Washburn, our Wetlands Enforcement Officer, Amy St. Ange, First Selectman and tonight's Zoom host, and Gloria Harvey, our recording secretary. We do have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is the seating of alternates. Greg Corso is our alternate member. Greg Corso is not present. That's my understanding this evening. The next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 regular meeting. And to facilitate that, I shall share my screen. Which is always it's always a fun thing to do. Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I don't know if everybody else has taken the opportunity to read them. I studied them, and though it was 2 months ago, I found them to be accurate and representative.
Thank you.
I make a motion that they be accepted, so the rest can
be off on that motion, and let me ask if any other commissioners wish to offer any corrections to these minutes. If not, then I will entertain your motion, Commissioner Obert. Do I have a second on that motion?
Commissioner O'Neill.
Commissioner O'Neill and Commissioner Morano. It was a nose-to-nose second there. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The minutes of the June 10th, 2025 regular meeting are accepted and approved as written. The next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the June 28th, 2025 special meeting. And for that, I will zoom, no pun intended, ahead to those, which I believe are on page 50. Okay. Do commissioners or staff wish to offer any corrections to these minutes? If not, then I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the June 28th, 2025 special meeting as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner Morano. Do I have a second on that?
Commissioner Langer, a second.
Thank you, Commissioner Langer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The minutes of the June 28th special meeting are accepted and approved. Sorry, the June 28th special meeting and public hearing are accepted and approved as written. Thank you. Sorry for the confusion there. The next item on the agenda is citizens' comments on agenda items. This is an opportunity for members of the general public, other than applicants, violators, or their representatives, to inform the commission of any questions, concerns, or observations relating to specific agenda items, other than item number 1 under public hearings, and we'll get to that very soon. Further discussion of those items by commission members will be reserved for those portions of the meeting specified on the agenda. Are there any comments on agenda items other than item 1 under public hearings that members of the general public would like to share at this time? If not, I shall now open the public hearing. I am calling this public hearing to order on August 12, 2025 at 7:07 p.m. Note for the record that this hearing is being held in the public interest. Notice of this hearing was filed in the town clerk's office and posted on the town's webpage on June 18th, 2025. On July 30th and August 6th, legal notice of this hearing was published in the Shopper's Guide, a newspaper with a general circulation in Thompson. The notice reads as follows. Thompson Inland Wetlands Commission notice of public hearing on August 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. The Thompson Inland Wetlands Commission will hold a public hearing via Zoom only on Wetlands Agent Approval, WAA 18025, Northeast Sand and Gravel, 659 Riverside Drive, map 63, block 58, lot 15P, owner Riverside Landing Trust and Stephen A. Ross, trustee. The purpose of the show cause hearing is to consider the proposed revocation of the permit. The scope of work appears to have been exceeded as set forth in the application, including application site plans. Citizens may attend and offer comments. Christopher Dustin, Chair. Copies of this notice, along with other documentation related to this matter, are incorporated in the Zoom documents publicly posted for this meeting and are thereby entered into the record. This public hearing is now open. Our procedure will be as follows. I shall begin by asking Margaret Washburn, acting as the town's duly authorized inland and wetlands agent and enforcement officer, to read and enter into the record any letters, emails, or other comments received prior to this meeting in response to these notices. Margaret, have we received any letters, emails, or comments prior to this meeting?
I have not.
Thank you. I'll now ask Ms. Washburn to please read from section 14.4 of the Inland Wetlands Regulations for the town of Thompson as it relates to the revocation of a previously issued permit.
I'm sorry, it's gonna take me a minute to get to that point. Please bear with me.
I can read them.
That would be helpful. I'm sorry, I'm juggling a lot of documents here.
Yeah, it's rather than find them in the Zoom docs, and they are in the Zoom docs. This is from section 14.4 of the regulations, which reads, in part, the commission may suspend or revoke a license if it finds that the permittee has not complied with the terms, conditions, or limitations set forth in the license, or has exceeded the scope of work as set forth in the application, including application plans. I'll now ask Ms. Washburn to please read her inspection report from the May 10th site walk on the property in question, as well as the letter she sent to Mr. Ross, Riverside Lending Trust, and Northeast Sand and Gravel. Margaret, are you able to access those, or would you like me to do that?
Yes, I have the inspection report and I have the letter to Mr. Ross. The inspection report dated May 10th for 659 Riverside Drive. I inspected and took photos, as did Chairman Dustin. Also in attendance were Robert Litskis, Greg Mountford, and members Fran Moreno, George O'Neill, David Langer, and Charles Oberg. Water is running down the side of the access road. A stream flows onto Paul LaRoche's property. We observed 4 areas where groundwater was intercepted due to over-excavation. All 4 areas of standing water had wood frog tadpoles. Wood frogs are obligate vernal pool species. They were photographed. Their presence indicates that all 4 areas of standing water function as vernal pools. A larger tadpole was observed in the quote pond unquote near Whittemore. I'm not sure if that's Whittemore Drive or Whittemore Street. The stream that flows beside the access road flows out of one of these pools. And the letter to Mr. Ross says on August 12th, 2025 at 7 p.m., the Thompson Inland Wetlands Commission, IWC, will hold a public hearing via Zoom only on Wetlands Agent Approval WAA 18025 Northeast Sand and Gravel, 659 Riverside Drive, map 63, block 58, lot 15P, owner Riverside Lending Trust, and Stephen A. Ross, trustee. The public hearing will be held in accordance with section 14.4 of the Thompson Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Regulations, revised June 1st, 2025. The purpose of the show cause hearing is to consider the proposed revocation of the permit. The scope of the work appears to have been exceeded as set forth in the application, including application site plans. Please refer to the attachments. Number 1, a copy of the Wetlands Agent Approval, WAA 18025. When the approval was issued, there were no wetlands or watercourses on the subject property. 2, a copy of the IWC inspection report and site photographs dated May 10th, 2025. The inspection report documented the presence of watercourses and hydrophytic wetlands vegetation on the subject property. 3, the public hearing notice posted on the town website on July 23rd, 2025. 4, a copy of section 14.4 of the Thompson Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Regulations, revised June 1, 2025. At the show cause hearing, the permittee shall be given an opportunity to show that it is in compliance with its license and any and all requirements for retention of the license. 5, the draft agenda for August 12th, 2025. Please feel free to contact me with any questions you may have, issued by Margaret Washburn.
Thank you. And am I correct that that same letter was sent to Northeast Sand and Gravel?
That's right.
That's right. Excellent. Thank you. I will now briefly review some of the other exhibits included in the Zoom documents related to this hearing, including the approved site plan from 2018, which you should be looking at now. I will ask commissioners and others in attendance to take note of the area here in the center, which was the original area of proposed work, and to take note of the plot line. I am now going to bring up a current, or more or less current aerial view. I can hit the right button here. This is the current aerial view, and I think it's evident from this view that the area that has been disturbed far exceeds the area that was where the work was originally proposed and approved. I am now going to briefly review some photographs that were taken during the site walk on May 10th. I'm going to move through these, showing that some of the pools and intermittent water courses that Agent Washburn mentioned. These are the wood frog tadpoles in the lower left, and other hydrophytic vegetation. which is established, more tadpoles. I'll presently invite any interested parties and members of the general public to offer comments concerning this matter. Anyone who wishes to speak should indicate their desire to do so by using the raise hand function, which you'll find if you click on reactions at the bottom of your Zoom window. Ms. Washburn and the recording secretary will compile a list of those who wish to speak. Those individuals will be recognized in turn, at which point they should unmute their microphone, turn on their video if available, and offer comments or questions. All speakers need to clearly state their name and address prior to speaking. Comments will be limited to an initial 5-minute time allotment with an additional 3-minute allotment for a second round of comments if necessary. Following the period set aside for public comment, there will be a brief period for commission members and staff to share any follow-up comments or questions they may have. Following the close of the public hearing, the commission will deliberate and vote on the action under consideration, namely the proposed revocation of WAA 18025. This action will be taken later in this meeting under agenda item F5. Please note that subsequent to the close of the public hearing, no further public testimony on this matter may be submitted. So speak now, or rather when it's your turn. Those are the protocols. So I'm now going to ask any interested parties or members of the public who wish to speak to indicate their desire to do so by raising their hand. Ms. Washburn and Ms. Harvey will please keep a list of those wishing to speak. Speakers will be recognized in turn, starting with the owners of the property in question and or their representatives if present. So
this is Attorney John Beck speaking on behalf of Riverside Lending Trust. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yes, Riverside Lending Trust is a debtor in possession. Northeast Sand and Gravel quitclaimed the property to Riverside Lending Trust. They have no desire to continue with any type of graveling on the site. They're actively marketing the property for sale, and they have no problem with regard to the revocation of the permit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak or to offer comments? I'll remind everyone that there can be no further public testimony beyond this point.
I don't know if I can do this without wearing the hat. If I can just say this as a resident of the town, but we just heard their attorney say they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They've dumped up on the top of the hill. I don't know what's there, but I will remind the residents of this town that Passay Road transfer station is a Superfund site because somebody dumped something that they weren't supposed to, and we didn't have the resources to stop them. I'm appalled that this town is in such a abysmal situation that we don't have the ability to stop this kind of stuff. These people went in, they exceeded the permit excessively. They damaged exposed the groundwater. They left trash that had nothing at all to do with the operation on the hilltop. There's a dumpster somewhere. I'm looking for it in the photographs. There's tires. There's all sorts of stuff up there that should not be there. And that's me as a private citizen in the town of Thompson. I'm appalled that this town is so wide open to be exploited by out-of-town interests, out-of-town money, out-of-town, and they don't give a hoot about us. Now, some of you people who grew up in the town, prove me wrong.
Chairman Dustin, this is Gloria.
Yes, Gloria.
Was the attorney's name John Beck, B-E-C-K?
Attorney
Yes,
Beck, are you?
that's correct.
Right. Thank
Yes,
you.
this is Attorney
And
Beck.
he represented Riverside
correct.
Lending Trust?
Right, I represent Riverside Lending Trust, no relation to the gravel company that basically did the excavation. We just lent them money.
That's understood. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Obert, for your justifiably impassioned remarks. I will now invite commission members, speaking as commission members and staff, to share any follow-up comments or concerns they'd like to voice while this public hearing remains open. Keeping in mind that action may be taken later in this meeting, at which point there will be further opportunity for discussion amongst commission members only of any motion that is made and seconded. Other commission members who would like to speak at this time?
It looks like, this is Margaret Washburn. It looks like Mike O'Brien has his hand up.
Okay, yeah, I see that now. Mr. O'Brien. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
hi.
I'm
Hi,
sorry I missed you.
So I represent the bank, QS Private Lending, who took, it's not Riverside. We're not representing Riverside. We foreclosed on them. So we're trying to get this property, we took it back. None of this stuff, we didn't dump anything there. And from what I found out, most of the stuff dumped on the site was from town related sidewalks. We're not an out of state, we're a funding. Unfortunately, there's crooks out there. And we get, it just happens. I'm trying to resolve it to try to see what I got to do to clean it and sell it to someone so it doesn't look like this. As far as all the water, the ponds and the vernal pools that they're saying, none of that was up there with the last, say, 3 years. You have two areas of wetlands, and you dig a hole anywhere next to wetlands that fills up with water, you're going to have frogs move there. It's just the way it is. But I'm trying to resolve this. If we close out the permit, which we were told that was the best way to do it, and then start over and try to get this cleaned up and have someone that is a local person try to take over and build something that is good for the town. We're stuck. We did none of this. And, Connecticut, I mean, when we foreclose, it takes us a while to take the property back, and the people keep working, and there's nothing we can do because the jurisdiction is different from foreclosing and where you guys are. So it takes us a lot longer. So this guy that was a crook just kept going, and there was nothing we could do till we finally got it back. I've been out there and I've met with some people out there. I just want to try to take care of it and get rid of what's on site and have someone develop it that, will be good for the town. But that's about it.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien, for those comments and for that that very helpful attitude, I think, to try to correct something that, as Mr. Albert pointed out, is really stands in need of correction. We appreciate that.
Commissioner Dustin, this is Gloria again. I apologize for interrupting,
Not at
but
all.
I didn't get the name of the bank that Mike O'Brien represented.
Mr. O'Brien, can you help with that?
Yes, QS Private Lending.
U.S. Private Lending.
QS Private Lending, yes.
UN or QN?
QS Private
Yeah.
Lending.
S as in Shirley.
Q as in Queen, S as in Shirley.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner.
I'd like to follow up on that. I can fully appreciate the position that Mr. O'Brien and his institution are in. It sounds to me like the person who was operating up there was actually guilty of criminal action because, as I heard the phrase, the crook was doing this. There really was no question. There should not have been any question in the mind of any gravel miner that when he saw the water coming in, he had exceeded the limits of his permit. This person continued. I don't think that the debris is really from the project of the sidewalks in North Grosvenordale, primarily because that was a state contract or a state project, and they wouldn't have come with just a load or three and dump stuff up there. We don't know. We don't know. I think it was criminal action. I hope that there's nothing up there that's toxic because it doesn't take much. And we are without recourse. This is I wish the people that just vote no, just vote no, just vote no would realize that stripping us of our resources is killing this town in a way that no one could expect. They're burning down a house to get rid of the cockroaches. It's wrong. We need help. We need to work together.
Indeed, Commissioner. Thank you for your comments. Your point about toxic materials is well taken, especially in cases where the water table is intercepted. And
That's
that,
it. We've got to
will
know.
lead
And
to
this
those-
guy violated the permit, violated the law, and walked away from it saying, "Oh, I'm bankrupt now."
Thank
Love
you. Thank you. Any other commissioners have comments to share at this time? Speaking for myself, I'd like to offer a brief summary of the reasons why revocation of WAA 18025 appears justified, if only for the record. I think much of this has been said before. Reason one is the scope of the work done on this site substantially exceeded what was originally planned and approved. Reason two is the site was substantially over excavated, resulting in the interception of the water table at numerous points. Reason three would be that the site was thereby altered in ways that created what are now established wetlands and watercourses, including intermittent streams and pools with established populations of wetland flora and fauna. Reason four, the work originally approved in what was an upland review area is now undertaken within undelineated wetland habitat. That area, wherever it came from, is also polluted by the widespread dumping of waste material. The result is that the negative environmental impact on the site and the hydrology of the surrounding area is extensive. Simply put, I suppose this is reason five. This is not the same site that was covered by WAA 18025. It's been altered in such a way that the original license is no longer applicable. Any further activity on the site would require a new application and a different permit. Finally, I would like to emphasize that, in my view at least, all of this occurred because this work was allowed to proceed unmonitored by those who were responsible for its oversight. That failure is striking and comes at a cost to the environment and the town. It is incumbent on our governmental leaders, including the Planning and Zoning Commission, the town planner, and the Board of Selectmen, to take notice and to take action to prevent situations like this from arising in the future. For those reasons, I would and will call for a motion to revoke WAA 18025 later in this meeting. Any further comments from commissioners or staff? If not, I will end discussion at this point and entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close.
Thank you,
Commissioner O'Neill.
Seconded, Commissioner.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Morano. Any discussion? If not, then all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? The public hearing portion of this meeting is now closed at 7:28 p.m. Based on the comments it's heard, the commission will deliberate and vote on the proposed action under agenda item F5. We'll now return to our regular agenda. Sounds like our regularly scheduled programming. The commissioner will now consider applications previously received. And I must remind commissioners that since there are items, or these are items on which votes may be taken, it is important, in fact, it's necessary for all voting members to state for the record the reasons for any votes they cast, either during the discussion of any motion made or seconded, or at the time the vote is called for. The first item on our agenda is, I will get to it, is IWA 25025, David Hellstrom, 34 Jezersky Lane, map 116, block X, lot C through Z, construction of a single-family house, driveway, septic system, and well, one tree to be removed on the shoreline. Is the applicant or a representative present with us? Is he? I didn't see. Margaret, did you see Daniel's name among the participants?
Yes, we're watching.
Oh, okay, Mr.
Dave-
Hellstrom. Wonderful.
David Hellstrom?
I see Daniel, yes, excellent. Which of you would like to speak? You can all speak.
Daniel can speak.
Okay, he does that well.
All right, good evening, everyone. For the record, I'm Daniel Blanchett. I'm a licensed civil engineer and land surveyor. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Hellstrom, to seek your approval this evening to construct a new single-family house, portions of which are in the Upland Review area. Now, the site is located at 34 Jezersky Lane off Little Pond or School Pond, kind of at the northwest corner. It's a vacant site at the moment, and the applicant is proposing to construct a new single-family house for himself. We have health department approval. We have approval from DEEP for the NDDB program. It's a pretty, I think, fairly simple, straightforward project. I will remind the commission, originally we had a lot more work proposed along the shoreline, and that work has been taken off. The only work near the shore consists of removing one tree, which is not in good condition. It's leaning way out over the water. Again, originally we had some riprap, some other things, and we've taken all that off. And so I think it's a pretty simple, straightforward project.
So to remind commissioners that this is a revised plan that we're looking at, and as Daniel has just explained, apart from the single tree, the plan is now for the bank to remain vegetated.
Yes, sir.
Without armature, in keeping with the DEEP guidelines. And we have NDDH approval. Commissioner Ober.
Yes, I didn't hear it discussed, but the tree that was to be removed, did I understand that you weren't going to pull the roots out? You were just going to cut it off and let it anchor as much as it could and devegetate slowly?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, because no disturbance then?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other comments from commissioners? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve IWA 25020.
I'll make a motion to approve IWA
5020.
5020.
I'll second that.
Motion is made by Commissioner Morano. It is seconded by Commissioner Obert. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
This is Margaret Washburn.
Margaret.
May I please take this opportunity to ask people to state for the record the reason for their vote?
Oh,
An excellent reminder, just after I made my statement.
I voted for it because I am delighted to see that they've pulled back on some of the intrusive plans they had along the shore. And it seems to me like it's a very straightforward thing to do now.
And I am voting in favor for very similar reasons, that I think it is far more sensible to allow the bank to remain vegetated. I think it's important that that is in keeping with the DEEP guidelines, which we should take seriously. And I see nothing particularly problematic about the removal of that sole tree.
my statement was answered when I asked the question. I understood there's to be no disturbance of the soil in the area where there might be an erosion issue. I also understand that even if they put a dock out there where they cut the tree down, they can do that without disturbing the rest of the bank. So I don't have any issues now that I know that they're not going to be disturbing the soil on the bank.
Thank you. Commissioners O'Neill and Langer.
Okay, O'Neill here. I thank you for that question. I incorporate by reference the affirmations of my fellow commissioners and have no additional observations to make other than it doesn't appear to be adverse to the environment and would be something that would be certainly I would agree with.
Thank you.
Commissioner Langer, I'm voting to approve because of the retention of the bank and the removal of the tree doesn't appear to cause any erosion or adverse effects to the water line.
Thank you. Our reasons for our votes have all been stated for the record. It is unanimous, the vote to approve IWA 25020. IWA 25020 is approved. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I will see you very shortly.
Yes, yes. We'll be seeing lots of you. No. The next item on the agenda is IWA 25028. This is Richard Walter, 0 Lakeside Drive, map 143, block 16, lot G, construction of a new single-family home, driveway, septic system, well, retaining wall, tree removal, and new sand beach. Daniel, would you like to talk about this one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Could we scroll down a little bit, please?
Sure, yeah, we'll get to page 71 if I'm not mistaken. Is that
Perfect. Yes,
where
sir.
you'd like to be?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Maybe just zoom in a little bit. Excellent. All right. So now this project also has been reduced in scope. Previously, there was a large driveway that was going to come down towards the house. The driveway can't be too steep, and so the house had to be picked up. There was all kinds of retaining walls and things of that nature required, but we've gotten rid of the driveway. Essentially, people will parallel park near the road, which allows the house to be lowered to a more natural elevation, and we don't have all those retaining walls. There is still a beach area that's proposed. If we could scroll down, please, to sheet 2.
I need to. Whoop, sheet 2.
There should be a
This one? Nope, that's Mooney. I'm not seeing a sheet 2.
There should be a sheet 2 that has some extra cross sections.
Is that in here, Margaret? I'm not seeing it under the. Hellstrom. I'm afraid, Daniel, can you explain to us what we would be seeing if we were looking at?
Can Daniel share it? This is Margaret Washburn. Can Daniel share it on his screen?
I had a USB drive with me, and I think I forgot it at the office. I apologize. I was all ready to share my screen. Essentially, what the applicant would like to do.
You can hold it up. Would that be helpful?
Okay.
That's
Okay,
included
sure.
in the rules. That'll be recorded.
I apologize for the low quality. Essentially, the idea is the site is fairly steep, and the applicant would like kind of a flat, sandy beach area. Therefore, we are proposing to remove some earth and put in some sand and a short retaining wall just above. There's no fill proposed within the floodplain. It would all be material removed. And a small, flat sandy beach area. The trees along the shoreline would be cut. The other thing I'll mention is with regards to the health department, this is a bit of an unusual situation.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, I have an approval letter before this commission. In this situation, yes, perfect. I think that's it. Now, this isn't the typical approval letter that I like to show. This is a weird situation where the health code requires 4 feet of soil above ledge. We don't have that now. And so the applicant has to import material to raise up the grade to build the septic system. And so unfortunately, it's a weird situation where it's like a chicken or the egg. I need approval from your commission to bring in the material before I can get the approval letter from the health department. Essentially, we'll strip the topsoil, we'll bring in select fill. At that point, we would dig another test pit, and then the health department would say, okay, great, here's your approval letter. But again, some work would be required within the upland review area to do that work.
This is Margaret. May I please ask a question?
Please,
Daniel, does the plan show that, Bill?
Yes. Yes, yes, the plans shows that both in the cross section up above and below on the site plan. You can see right now we have ledge at 45 inches. We have to have 48. And so at the worst part, we have to strip off the topsoil and bring in 3 inches of select fill. And some of that is within the upland review area.
Daniel, to help us orient ourselves with respect to the plan, and does that appear on this first sheet? What you were just explaining?
Yes, sir. So if we kind of go to the right-hand side, you'll see that hatched area, which is the primary leach field.
Mm-hmm.
And then the reserve leach field just downhill of that. And so it's a weird situation. I'm hoping the commission will vote to approve us this evening. Again, typically I'd like to have the full health department approval. In this case, to get health department approval, I have to do some clearing and grading within the upland review area.
So your argument is that in order for you to do the work you need to do to get the NDDH approval, you need approval from us to do that work.
Precisely, yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Question, sir? Yes, a couple of things. First of all, on that lot, that's the maximum distance away from the water line, not only in west to east, but in water elevation up to the road. Am I correct? I don't know what those numbers are. I can see them well, it's 430 feet to the top, and the water level is at 404.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this will be a pumped septic system. The septic system really has to be at the highest point. We hit more ledge down near the lake.
Okay, but you're furthest away from the water. How far the 100 foot? You're really not in the 100-foot upland review area. You're just beyond it, aren't you? Because 426, the dark lines around the project area are not touching the dotted line of the 100-foot upland review area. Not on the drawing that I see.
Correct.
So
yes. Correct.
That actually, if I'm correct, that actually is outside of the 100-foot upland review area. And
you are correct. We're trying to be cautious.
Right.
Okay,
if I understood Daniel, Commissioner Obert, it sounded as if some of the fill that would have to be brought in might spill over into the upland review area. Is that...
Yeah, that's quite a distance, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but I see that dark line at 426 and presumed that was the evident area of expected disturbance. But even at that, really, a little bit of extra dirt up on the top of the hill, it's got to be anchored to be in place or it won't do the job for the septic system.
Thank you. Any other commissioners or staff have questions, comments, or concerns? Daniel, can I ask just very quickly, is there anything that could go wrong with this plan? I mean, is it conceivable that you could bring in the fill and do what you need to do and not receive NDDH approval?
It's possible,
right?
But it's unlikely. Yeah, we have to submit. If you look at the letter from the health department,
yes,
you know, we have to provide a sieve analysis of the material that we're bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
The health department has to come back and do another test pit. Exactly. Yeah, thank you. That's that letter.
That's right. That's right.
And so assuming we follow these conditions, I'm sure we'll get approved,
mm-hmm.
but potentially some work could be involved in the upland review area prior to NDDH approval.
Well,
Chairman Dustin.
Yes.
I was wondering if we considered approving it, if there could be a condition put on that these points that have to be addressed in order for it to be maybe conditional approval based on those requirements.
Yes, thank you for that I think that would have to be a conditional approval. I agree with you.
Question,
Yes.
Commissioner Morano, you're talking about like a silt fence or hay bales or something to catch any erosion that might happen?
No, that would be understood. I'm talking about the requirements from the Department of Health about bringing fill in and having it analyzed and whatnot.
Oh, isn't that in the letter? I'm sorry.
So
I heard it read, or I heard it said and thought that it was in the letter.
I think what Commissioner Morano is proposing is that, well, I would entertain a motion to approve IWA 25028, contingent upon compliance with the NDDH, how shall I put this, requirements and subsequent approval of the proposed septic system.
That's exactly the motion I would make.
If I may.
The
Perhaps-
specifications? It meets the specifications as outlined by the Northeast District of the Department of Health.
In the letter we're looking at.
I'll make a motion that we, with the citing of those points, that we approve this application.
Thank you. Daniel, you did have your hand up before. Is there something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I was going to suggest, again, not to overstep, perhaps as a condition of approval, the commission would entertain no work occur at the shoreline until we have the NDDH approval for the septic system.
Oh, good idea.
It's almost like we're having a separate application, really, and in a way it is.
Yeah. So I am going to entertain a motion, and it will be a long motion, so don't actually read it. That we approve IWA 25028 contingent upon or with the following conditions, that the work proceed to bring the site into compliance with the requirements stipulated in the July 10, 2025 letter from the Northeast District Department of Health, and that no work be undertaken at closer to the shoreline until that compliance has been demonstrated and NDDH approval has been received.
Can we say no work be done beyond that requirement before any other work gets done on the project?
That's just what he said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second
Okay,
that.
I didn't hear it that way. It sounds great. It sounds right. It sounds like we can move it forward and protect our town and not cause a problem for the property owners. So,
I'd like to second that motion.
But
Thank
this
you.
is Margaret, if I may please say something procedurally. Chris read a proposed motion, but he's asking for someone to actually make the motion, not just second it. He can't make the motion.
Right.
All
So-
right. Well, he said it so beautifully.
Someone just needs to say, I move to do what Chris said.
I make a motion to do what Chris has indicated in his eloquent
Okay.
speech.
and I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Obert. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
those opposed? Any abstentions? All right, yeah, IWA 25028 is approved conditionally as previously specified.
Do we have to give individual reasons?
Yes.
Does that mean we should do every vote as a roll call vote so we don't have to retract?
I'm beginning to think that is a good idea. I don't know how many of our reasons emerge over the course of our discussion, but just to be on the safe side, I will say that I am persuaded by the argument that in order to do the work that needs to be done to bring this site to gain NDDH approval for this project, we need to approve at least some portion of the project, which is what we are now doing.
And I vote approval because so that we can do it in steps to address the concerns of the District of Health and then proceed to the plan, which looks pretty straightforward now for the rest of the construction and creation of the beach.
Commissioner Ober.
Yeah, to me, the the amount of mitigation, I guess we have to call it, in order to make the site acceptable to the Department of Health is pretty small. And I did point out and made the observation that it's not only the higher elevation, but it's the most distance linear from the water as could possibly be. I like the idea that we want that done first. I suppose we should expect him to notify Margaret when it's done so that anybody who wants to go out there can take a quick look at it. But it makes sense. Get that done, and then the rest is right behind it. So
Thank you. Commissioner O'Neill.
Yes, I recommend we do it based on the fact that, you know, on a stepwise basis, as we need additional information in order to proceed, and as well as the points observed by other commissioners that the distance from the wetlands is, you know, mitigated to the extent possible.
Commissioner Langer.
I voted approve to, based on the infrastructure of the site, a phased approach seems practical, and the majority of the phase one work is outside of our 100-foot area.
Excellent. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is IWA 25029, Robert Mooney, 66 Lake Road, map 141, 186, 0 Loki Road, map 141, lot 17, lot 184H, lot of camping area incorporated unit. Construction of new retaining wall less than 4 feet tall along the shore of aquatic reservoir, landscaping and associated grading. And here again, Daniel, if I'm not mistaken, we have a revised plan. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have I gone too far? Yes. Here we go.
Yep. Back a little bit down.
Down. Oh, right. Okay. This is the report. So I'm going to go to. Was going to go straight to the plan. That's okay.
Yes, please. Yes.
There you go.
Now, if we could zoom in a little bit.
Okay.
Now, I understand the commission did a site walk recently, and I apologize. I was not able to attend that site walk. Since that site walk, we've tried to address some of the concerns of the commission. The big thing is based on, I understand Mrs. Washburn had some communications with people at FEMA who had a concern about the flood zone. And so the retaining wall was pulled back a foot based on the recommendations from the flood people. The other big thing I'll note is if we could zoom in just a little bit, the top right corner of the building. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Perfect. The other big change is that we're going to add a dry well for the roof leaders at that corner. Yes, exactly. Yep, exactly. The applicant wants to construct a stone patio between the building and the water. And I had a concern about, again, the heat of water coming off the roof. It's not good for the lake to have all that hot water come right in. And so therefore we're proposing to have a dry well, which would be connected to the gutters to help cool that water down before it spills over into the lake. And so we've added a 50-gallon dry well to the plan, which is kind of the big change. And then we pulled everything back a foot. I think, is Mr. LaFazia here?
I didn't see his name.
I don't see him. No, I thought he was here.
Right. So Daniel, if I may ask you a couple of questions.
Please.
When Agent Washburn and I were at the site, and we missed you, but we had a couple of things came up. One is that there is currently a dock in place just on the property line, and it was either Mr. LaFazia or Mr. Mooney indicated that the plan was to move that dock to the left on the plan so that it was within the property line, and to have it abut on the retaining wall in such a way that one could step down from the retaining wall onto the dock, which raised some questions about whether a set of stairs was proposed. It seemed not to be the case, that maybe the retaining wall, there would be one step that was left on the top of the wall. It was also indicated that that this portion of the stone patio from here as it wraps around would not be stone, but there would be a path and it would be landscaped. And I believe there was one, oh, Mr. LaFazio had a question about, if I can find this on your plan here, about the retaining wall itself. If, let me see, which I think I'm trying to.
Should be, if you scroll kind of left,
Yeah.
there should be a detail there.
There we go.
There we go. Yep.
It was this placement of riprap at the base of the retaining wall, which raised some questions about, does that constitute fill? I suppose if it's far enough back from the water's edge, then those issues don't arise. But Mr. LaFazio wasn't sure he wanted to do that. So what I'm getting at is there seem to be some minor adjustments to the plan, which is what led Agent Washburn and I to consider as a condition on approval an as-built plan within 45 days of the wall being completed. So that we knew that this was indeed the plan without further fluctuations. There have been fluctuations, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah. No, I was just going to offer that actually. I think it's a great idea as a condition of approval. The commission requests an as-built drawing so you can see exactly what was built, how it's going to work. I can offer opinion on what was built. And again, if the commission at that point has any changes, modifications, we can go from there.
Okay, thank you. Other commissioners have questions or comments about this?
This is Margaret. If
Margaret.
I may please say something. I
Please.
just want to point out that we received a revised application, and it's not the original application. It should be in the Zoom documents. It's a
Mhm.
revised one that includes both lots, 184G and 184H, which we observed on our June 28th site walk that work was being done on a lot to the north. And so this is the application that's being approved, would issue a permit to both lots.
That's right. That's
Thank you.
right. So the revised plan does show the work on the adjacent lot, which the original plan did not. And
Yes,
the
sir.
owner of that lot has signed off on the application, and that is the application we would approve tonight. Other commissioners or staff have comments? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve IWA 25029 with the added condition that that we receive an as-built drawing within 45 days of the construction of the wall and the completion of the project. Do I have a second? Do I have a motion to that effect?
This is Commissioner Langer. I'll make the motion to approve with the condition of receiving the as-built drawings within 45 days. I believe that's what you said.
45 days. That's
45 days after the construction, back to the commission.
excellent.
I'll
Do I have a
second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Morano. Any further discussion?
If this is Margaret, are you having roll call reasons for your votes now?
Yes.
Yes, we are. We've learned that lesson. All right, I'll begin the roll call and I'll start with Commissioner Obert.
Yes. I will vote yes on this, and I will say I wish we could get things done in a proper order, because when we were out there, they had to stop working because they didn't have their permit in order. And so I feel like we're coming down on a heavy because these guys aren't following the procedure. I'd like to see it get done. I'd like to see the as-built, and we've already got that stipulated, so I can vote yes on this.
Thank you. Commissioner Morano.
I vote to approve the motion on the table It looks like many of the concerns that we saw when we were last at that lot have been addressed.
Mhm.
And the as-built idea is an excellent one to add into it.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Neill.
Yes, I approve. I think that the controls that have been recommended and are to be adopted by this approval would mitigate any impact on the inland wetlands, and for that reason, I approve it.
Thank you. Commissioner Langer.
I approve based on the revised drawings and the fact that many of the conditions that were observed during our visit are being taken care of and handled in a professional manner, protecting the watershed and the lake.
Thank you. Speaking for myself, I will say that I am voting to approve based primarily on the now correct placement of the wall farther back from the shoreline. I also appreciate that the procedural issues involving the adjacent lot have been resolved expeditiously. I will share Commissioner Obert's frustration with after the fact applications. I think it would make things a lot easier for everyone if we could do these things in the correct order. I understand that sometimes people aren't aware of the need to submit an application, but in this case, there was an application and there was some jumping of the gun. So hopefully we can avoid this. But there's been a lot of cooperation here, and for that reason, I would vote to approve. Therefore, I will call the vote. So it sounds we've just voted. There's no opposition, and I take it there's no abstention. Therefore, IWA 24029 is approved with the condition that the commission receive an as-built drawing within 45 days of the completion of the project. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. That's like a hat trick to start the evening off. The next item on the agenda is WAA 25030. This is Joseph Adams, 80 Jezersky Lane, map 116, block X, lot 1Z. And this is the proposed construction of an 8 by 18-foot boat shed with some tree removal in the upland review areas to Little Pond. It was unproblematic, and a duly authorized wetlands agent approval has been issued. So we are done with that. Am I right, Margaret? Commissioners have no further concerns. So let's move right along. The next item on the agenda is DEC 25026 Dubois, is that how he says it? Forestry, 171 Brickyard Road, map 40, block 88, lot 169, Matthew Ross and Kristen Hubert owners. Timber harvest on 26 of 47 acres with no harvesting in wetlands or upland review areas and no stream crossings. This is a silviculture treatment, and we discussed this a little bit at our last meeting. It would appear unproblematic. Do I have is there a representative from Dubois Forestry or?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, Don. Yes, thank you.
Hi, this is Don Dubois, Dubois Forestry and Land Management Professionals from Brooklyn, Connecticut. I'm representing my clients this evening, Matthew Ross and Kristen Hubert from Brickyard Road. The subject property is located in the corner of Brickyard Road and Capitulic or Capitulic, I think. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But this is a pretty straightforward operation. It's a silvicultural treatment to remove trees with defect, deformity, dieback, and disease, and to improve forest health. My client is the recipient of a grant from the Natural Resource Conservation Service, the Environmental Quality Incentive Program. So this has been approved by the USDA. Mm-hmm. The property is accessed for forest management purposes off of Capitulic Road across the cornfield, which right now is in corn. This operation will be started after the corn is removed, probably sometime around November. The log loading area is indicated in red. The proposed skid trails are actually the existing skid trails that are on the property. I was fortunate enough to be associated with the previous landowner on this property, and I selectively thinned this property and oversaw the last operation 25 years ago. So it was a bigger property then, but it's since been subdivided. And the only wetlands in the property is that strange strip of land, that narrow strip of land that goes out to Capitolic Road, and there's a drainage in there. It's intermittent, and with totally staying away from that. I've cross-hatched it on the topo maps, indicated area out. So we're not harvesting in wetlands. There's no proposed stream crossing, and we're out of the upland review area. If you go to the topo map, if you could, you see that there's some pretty steep topography here. So according to NRCS guidelines, when this operation is completed, the trails need to be stabilized with water bars or water diversion features, and then seeded with a shade tolerant conservation grass seed mix, all per equip specifications. This is a whole tree operation. It'll be done mechanically. The operation is going to take about a month from start to finish, barring any unforeseen interruptions. It's pretty straightforward. The purpose of the thinning is to improve forest health, like I said, and to remove trees with defect, deformity, and dieback, and to increase wildlife habitat.
Excellent, thank you. Commissioners have any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve DEC 25026. And I will entertain that motion. Somebody would.
I'll make a motion that we approve this application.
Thank you, Commissioner Obert. Do I have a second on that?
Commissioner Langer, I'll second.
Thank you. And Commissioner, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Commissioner Langer, again, I'll call you first for your vote.
I'm voting to approve based on the clarity of the package of information and the thoroughness in their preparation and the full explanation of how they're planning to remove the trees as well as recover the trails at the end.
Excellent. Thank you. Commissioner O'Neill.
Yes, I recommend we approve, vote to approve. The rationale being that professional operation that does have a comprehensive plan to handle all the issues and to with attention to the inland wetlands. So that's the reason.
Thank you. Commissioner Morano.
I approve of the motion. It looks like this is straightforward and well planned.
Thank you. Commissioner Obert.
Yes, I can approve this. It seems like a use permitted as of right, really. And I really like the way that rather than seeing how close he could get to the wetlands, he said, let's just avoid it. Because even if it's intermittent, we don't want to be dragging heavyweight through there.
Right.
It's a kind of area I think turtles would be laying their eggs at a different time.
Most likely. Well, I find the plan to be well conceived. I'm confident that it will be responsibly executed, and it is environmentally sound. So therefore, I too would vote in favor. I hear no opposition and I hear no abstentions. Therefore, DEC 25026 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is DEC 25031, Barbara Bliss, 8 Moran Street, map 42, block 89, lot 15-1, a new privacy fence on the western side of the property near wetlands and a water course. Here we go. Okay, is Ms. Bliss here or a representative? I think not. We can still approve, can't we, Margaret, if we find it unproblematic?
I can see somebody named Barbara with an iPhone who seems to be waving to us now, but she doesn't seem to know how to turn on her microphone.
Oh, you can see more than I.
Well,
she's here.
Oh, I see her, yes, but she's muted. Can I? Oh.
She doesn't know where the mute button is. It's probably with the Zoom app and across the bottom of the screen.
I just unmuted her, I think.
I'm unmuted.
You are unmuted, Ms. Bliss.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us about your project?
It's just a privacy fence to keep prying eyes and video cameras from spying into my property.
Uh-huh. That's understandable. The desire. Very good, thank you. Do commissioners have, or staff have any questions about this, this proposal?
Apparently, this wants to be as close to the river as possible, or right at the end of your
There
lawn?
is no river. It's just kind of like a little wetlands, marshy area. And it's kind of like a little stream. It's where the old town well used to be, I guess.
So, this is the little stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Margaret, I take it you're not, you see no issues here. Is that right?
I recommend approval.
Is
Yes,
this a project where you're just gonna bore a hole, put in the fence post, and then go to the next one?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's gonna disturb the, and
No,
create
we're
erosion
going to
problem.
be well away from the marshy area.
But it's just within the 100 foot, so you have to ask us.
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
How soon do you expect to do this?
We're hoping before fall gets here, but we're not sure right now. Maybe we might start it if we can't get to it this year, we'll get to it next year.
Makes sense. I don't have any particular problem with this from the standpoint of the wetlands. And there's nothing else that I'm allowed to address, so
No, that's right.
Can I
I
make a
don't have an
motion?
issue.
Yes, I would entertain a motion at this
I'd
point.
like to make a motion for DEC 25031, Elvira Bliss, 8 Warren Street, map 42, block 89, lot 15-1, to install a privacy fence on the western side of the property near wetlands and a water course.
Excellent. Can
My
you tell-
reasoning,
Yes,
my reasoning being that it's not intrusive and what she's doing is going to have very little impact where she is, and it's not going to affect anything.
thank you. Do I have a second on that motion?
Commissioner O'Neill seconds it.
Thank you. Why are you seconding it?
Seconding it because I don't believe it has any material impact on the inland wetlands, and that's all.
Thank you. I have a motion. It's been made and seconded. If any further discussion, if not, I'll continue to call the roll. Commissioner Obert,
I vote yes. I don't think that it's going to impact the wetlands, and there's nothing else that we have any jurisdiction over.
thank you. Commissioner Langer,
Commissioner Langer, I vote yes. It doesn't appear to have a major impact on wetlands and no reason to neglect it.
thank you. If I myself find that if executed according to plan, it will have minimal impact on wetlands or water courses. And it's something that the property owner should be entitled to do. So I am not hearing any opposition. I think I've called everyone. And I'm not hearing any abstentions. Therefore, DEC 25031 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bliss. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is WAA 25032. This is Alex Madrigal, 85 Aquatic Mountain Road, map 143, block 16, lot 17H, after the fact permit for construction of a 1-bedroom addition onto the existing cottage in the Upland Review area to Aquatic Reservoir. This is, Daniel, are you representing this as well?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to say something about it?
Yes, please. Yep. So again, and my client, the applicant, Mr. Madrigal, owns a property on the west side of Aquatic Reservoir on Aquatic Mountain Road. He started to construct an addition to his seasonal cottage. We just got a few hours ago some communication from the health department that's asking for test pits and a new septic design. If we construct a new septic system, it would be within the Upland Review area. And so at this time, it pains me to say it, I think we need an extension. I don't recommend anyone take any action tonight.
Thank you.
This is Margaret Washburn, and I think that because of the date of receipts, that you don't need I don't think you need an extension yet. Because the date of receipt of this was the July meeting, and so not enough time has passed yet to need an extension.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that pains him less. All right, in that case, we shall wish you good luck with this, and we'll await the revised plan that reflects the situation with the septic system.
Thank you.
So WAA 25032 will be carried over to our September 9th meeting. The next item on the agenda is WAA 25035, Cheryl Popiak, 1201 Thompson Road, map 116, block 24, lot 6B, construct a 10 by 20 foot shed on a gravel base in the upland review area. Wetlands agent approval has been issued. And so if commissioners have no questions or concerns about this one, we will move on. If I can get to my.
You have to go to the second view docs.
I do, thank you. Oh, we made it through one volume. Okay, so I need to share again. The next item on the agenda, the last of our previously received applications, is IWA 25036, Ryan Crone, 41 Hill Road, map 128, block 14, lot 1, construct a 40 by 60 foot garage, wetlands remediation, and create a new storage area for depositing woody debris outside of the wetlands. Do I have I think actually we're on page 17 for this one. Mr. Crone, are you here, or is there a representative from Killingley Engineering here to speak to us about this application? Is anybody here? Oh, I do see. You're muted. Ryan, if that's you, you're muted.
All
Maybe
right, sorry, I'm here. I've been fighting
well,
with my computer.
Here, great. Thank
Yep.
you. I'm going to remind commissioners that this began as a violation, and the order mandated a remediation plan, and that is what we have before us tonight, together with the proposal for a garage. So,
Yes.
Ryan, I'll let you speak for your application.
Okay, so I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, but
We got it right here.
okay. Oh,
Okay.
perfect. So yes, so it looks like I didn't measure it in feet, but we have flags up showing the area that we want dug back to. And then we have flags going over to where we can dump the rest of, well, basically move the debris over. I think it's roughly 150 to 200 feet, something like that.
Right. Sorry, I'm getting.
And we have to put up, was it a silt fence?
I'm sorry, I've lost my yes. Let me try to get back to where I want to be.
Okay.
There, I don't want that. I want that. Okay, there we go. So this is, if I'm not mistaken, this in pink is the area where the debris was deposited in and near the wetlands, and
Yes.
this is going to be removed under
Yes.
supervision of a soil scientist. And here you have your hay bales.
Yep.
You told us, and this area in blue is where you are proposing to put that stuff.
Yes.
Okay. And that's the remediation plan. The proposed garage sits back here in gray. And,
Yes.
and the silt fence then picks up where the hay bales leave off along the edge of the wetlands.
And goes along, okay, all the way to kind of the entrance pathway there.
Yes.
So, yep.
Do commissioners or staff have any questions or comments?
We have approval from the health department. This is Margaret.
Thank you,
And
Margaret.
also I'd point out that the shipping containers are to be relocated further away from the wetlands there, where one was quite close to the wetland. And
Yes.
Okay.
I recommend approval, and I thank Ryan for his diligence in bearing with this long process and rising to the occasion in a very professional manner.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Margaret.
I'd like,
second
I'd like to make a recommendation, a motion.
Thank you. Commissioner Morano, please
I'd
entertain a motion.
like to make a motion to approve IWA 25036 of Ryan Crone, 41 Hill Road, map 128, block 14, lot 1. Construct a 40 by 60 garage, wetland remediation, and create a new storage area for depositing woody debris. My reasoning being that he has carefully paid attention to all the recommendations and addressed them.
Thank you. Do I have a second on that motion?
Commissioner Langer, I'll second.
Thank you.
I look to approve based on the fact that the dedication to adhering to our recommendations and the remediation of the soils near the wetlands are being taken care of, and the position of hay bales and silt fencing is respectful of the wetlands and the property.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
O'Neill. Sorry.
Oh, O'Neill. Yes, I recommend we approve. Logic being that all the recs have been met and the condition of the wetlands is being protected.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner, I heard Morano and Langer and O'Neill. Commissioner Obert.
I will vote to approve this plan as it's come down. We've seen that there was a violation for whatever reason. I think that the attitude of correcting it will serve as a good example. And I don't think that our applicant will be displeased with the final results. Again, it's a cart in front of the horse. I wish we could have set it up and done it only once, but.
Yes. Speaking for myself, this is Commissioner Dustin. I agree with Commissioner Obert again that it's always better to avoid doing this after the fact. But that said, the applicant has been very cooperative. The remediation plan is well conceived. The proposed garage strikes me as unproblematic. Appropriate measures have been taken.
All right.
I hear no opposition or abstentions. IWA 25036 is therefore approved. Thank you. And
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good luck with your project.
Oh, thank you.
This brings us to new applications. Starting with WAA 25038, Shirley Warren and Jeffrey White, 76 Border Trail, map 164, block 11, lot 30, demolish existing house, build new house in same footprint, septic system repair. Duly authorized wetlands agent approval has been issued. So this has been taken care of. Unless commissioners have any questions or concerns, we will move on. 2, WAA 25039, Jeffrey Hopkins, 436 Brandy Hill Road, map 141, block 16, lot 27B. Replace a 1965 10 by 52 foot trailer with a 14 by 56 foot manufactured home. Septic system was previously repaired. A duly authorized wetlands agent approval has been issued. Again, unless commissioners have any questions or concerns, I will move on. 2, WAA 25040. Garrett Scotto, 354 Sandam Road, map 136, block 23, lot 12B. Construct a 24 by 32-foot addition to the existing house in the upland review area with silt fence at the limit of disturbance. Again, a duly authorized wetlands agent approval has been issued. So again, unless commissioners have any questions or concerns, I will move on to the next application. I must say, I do like these wetlands agent approvals, especially have such a capable wetlands agent.
So this is Margaret, and thank you for saying that. May I please ask for a 3-minute break?
I was going to ask when it was recess time. So why don't we take I'll do a 5-minute recess, and we will resume or we will reconvene at 8:31 p.m. if there are no objections.
No objections.
No
Thank you.
objection.
We'll see you back then. Okay.
Chairman Dustin,
Yes,
do I recluse myself? What's the right term? What's the right phrase?
I think what is correct is that you recuse yourself from the
Recuse.
portion of the meeting rather than simply abstaining.
Recuse. Thank you.
So I will address you as Mr. Langer for the next however many minutes it takes us to discuss your application. Waiting. There's Margaret. Are we all back? I think we are. All right, we are reconvening at 8:31 p.m. The next item on the agenda is DEC 25041. This is David Langer, 12 and 14 Cronoyer Road, map 48, block 103, lot 28A, vegetation removal in previously mowed and landscaped areas. And my understanding is that, or expectation is that Mr. Langer will be recusing himself from this portion of the meeting since he is the applicant. David, do you want to explain to us what you're contemplating here and maybe also speak to the extent of the area to be cleared?
Certainly. Certainly looking to remove some vegetation and some overgrowth, as well as a few dead or dying trees. Here is a map of the parcel property lines, which includes both 12 and 14 Cronoyer Road. You can see in the green area that would be considered the wetlands. So we have no work scheduled in the area, but due to the close proximity of the wetlands area, we wanted to make sure that we had clearly identified those areas and made a plan with the forestry company to stay clear of them. You can see that the hatched areas would be areas along property lines that we are leaving untouched, which includes the wetlands areas in the light green. Anything in pink is an area that is looking to be cleared. Mostly it's underbrush under existing trees and or between existing trees, up to anything about 3 inches diameter that would not be sustainable or already dying will just be chipped and left on the ground.
Thank you. Other commissioners have questions about the proposed project? So, David, are you working in the wetlands at all?
We're not working next to it. That bleed over in the bottom is just a colored marker bleed over. So it's not intentional to be in that wetlands area.
Okay, thank you.
We have no soil removal, no soil adding. I guess chipping is the best word. It's not a chipping machine. It's an arm machine that goes around and basically just chews up everything that's overgrown and leaves it down on the ground, leaves it on the soil.
Like a brush hog.
Yeah, it's even more more elaborate than that for sure. It
Thank you.
It does a cleaner job, but it also allows it to reach up high as well as reach underneath existing trees and branches so it doesn't destroy them.
And it sounds to me as if you are not removing any large trees.
Oh, we're not removing any large trees. No,
Okay.
there's 2 dead trees that are coming down, and then a lot of saplings or anything smaller. The limitation is about 3 inches in diameter of saplings or growth.
And you've done this before, or something like this before?
30 years ago.
Okay. There is precedent. Thank you. Other commissioners have questions or comments?
No, the project seems pretty straightforward, and the idea about just turning it into mulch on the property is sensible. Also, the thought of getting rid of some fuel for wildfires makes a lot of sense to me. I don't see any problems with this.
Thank you. Are you willing to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Okay, we're approving motion to approve DEC 250401. Do I have a second on that motion?
I second the motion, Commissioner O'Neill,
And why?
because I believe there's a well thought out plan and it appears to fall into the category of routine and expected maintenance for such a premises.
Thank you. Commissioner Morano.
I vote to approve. It looks like it's a well-designed plan and it's intriguing how they're gonna do it and just leave the chippings on the ground, which means there'll be very little impact.
Indeed. I agree that the impact appears minimal. The plan would be responsibly executed. And I see no issues that would stand in the way of my voting to approve. I hear no opposition and I hear no abstentions. We have just the one recusal. Therefore, DEC 25041 is approved.
I would make a footnote about the size of the mulch because I've seen reports that it spontaneously combusts.
Ah,
So if you have a pile of mulch that gets soaked and it's a thick grain chips, that they're the ones that are likely to surprise you.
Mhm.
That's nothing about this permit. This permit looks like a straightforward job.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, congratulations. Now you have to put your commissioner hat back on, David.
Yes.
IWA 24042, Alex LeBlanc, New England Stone Source Map 55, Lot 65, Lot 15, restoration and stabilization of wetlands and up and review area disturbed by mining stone. Daniel, are you representing this one?
Yes, sir.
You're here? Okay. I think we may have some questions about this one, but I will invite you to introduce it. Help us to understand what we're considering.
Thank you, everyone. Again, my client, Alex LeBlanc, has been removing stone from the site. It's located at Lot 15, off the west side of Route 12, very close to the Massachusetts state line. In the process of removing stone, some fill material was pushed into the wetlands, exactly as you can see here. Exactly. Yes, sir. We estimate approximately, we had Joe Thoreau come out and delineate the wetlands. We estimate 95 square feet of wetlands have been disturbed, kind of at the south end. And so what the current plan is to restore that area, pull back any fill from the wetlands, have erosion controls, and then stabilize the site.
Very good. Thank you. Do commissioners or staff have any questions or concerns for?
I have a question about location. He said it's on Route 12, almost in Massachusetts. How does this fit with the other properties we've been looking at up there? The work that's done right on the state line with the old ice pond dam, and the work that's being done that we went and looked at, and oh, I can't remember her name. She used to be our enforcement officer, and she went over to work for conservation. Judy was with us on that. That was all up in that same area. So where does that fit?
Just south of that. Yeah, just south of that.
Just south of that.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's almost back at the pizza shop, isn't it? Maybe not.
This is Margaret, Charlie. There's one owner in between. The gentleman that Mr. Sudika inadvertently took some material from owns property between this site and the Sudika site.
Thank you.
So this place got encroached on from two directions. Or
Well,
did it?
I don't know if there was any encroachment here.
Well, there was one encroachment that had to be pulled back up at the one at the state line. I don't remember the details, but I remember it's where they wanted to build their building. And they put some rocks over on that side.
So Daniel,
it's the principle of the thing. They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have done this.
That's true. Daniel, I know some other commissioners have some questions about this plan. So bear with me. I'm going to start with the proposal to pull the fill back 50 feet from the wetlands. Is that shown clearly on this plan? I'm having a little trouble reading it. The extent to which that fill is going to be brought back from here?
I believe it is, yeah. The intent is to remove any fill within 50 feet of the wetlands, to pull it back. And I believe that's shown by the proposed contours on this plan.
And do you mean the straight line contours or
Yes,
the?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so,
sir.
so that's the removal. So
Yes.
the fill will be pulled back, but it will still be sloped.
Yes, sir. It was sloped to begin with.
Right,
And again, we're going to pull it back as best we can to match original conditions.
right. So we presume there's an organic layer down there somewhere beneath all that rubble.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because one question I had is I know that reseeding is part of the plan, and I was curious as to how that would work, given that much of this site has literally been reduced to rubble. It would
Yes,
be someplace for the seed to grow. I had a question about as well about how did you come up with the 95 square feet of wetlands disturbance?
of course. So we had our surveyors go out. Again, we had Joe Thoreau delineate the limits of wetland soils. I had my surveyor go out and locate those flags. And based on our best guess, we located also the silt fence. I'm sorry, the hay bales, the limit of earthwork, and 95 square feet is our best guess. Mostly at the southern side. Really, at the northern side, he was close to the wetlands, but got lucky.
Okay, so Mr. Thoreau is confident that this is where the wetlands do begin and end. That they don't extend farther.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I had a question in addition about a couple of the notes.
Okay.
So, and other commissioners, feel free to join in. Note 2, remove the fill materials deposited in the wetlands and the 50-foot adjacent area along the wetland to permit access of the excavator and other equipment without disturbing the remaining wetlands. I found that hard to understand. In simple terms, is that saying that you're going to pull the fill back 50 feet from the wetlands?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure about the excavator. I also had was struck by note 5, and I suspect you know that others may be as well. If a logging/land clearing operation is finished, the disturbed areas at the crossing sites and within disturbed wetlands should be graded, seeded, and mulched to stabilize the sites and reestablish herbaceous vegetation. So this, we were, first of all, led to believe that the logging operation was finished. And I'm not sure what's meant here by land clearing. I'd like some clarification, no pun intended, on that. This is, of course, a separate issue from the fill that was deposited in and near the wetland. And it raises questions as to who would supervise that kind of work, whether it's actually needed, given that those areas seem to be revegetating on their own. And it does raise the point that, the more general point that no work that's not specified in the order to correct can really be approved with this application, since this should be intended as an attempt to address that order. So there I think there are some concerns about that. I mean, Mr. Thoreau's report and correspondence, which we could look at if you like, suggested that there had been more cutting and indeed clear cutting in the wetlands, which we were not aware of. So we kind of need to know more about what was being done, both during and after that timber harvest. And you probably are aware of this from correspondence with Mr. Thoreau, that there's some question as to whether it was selective or whether it was clear cutting. Can you say anything more about that?
Yes, sir. So again, I've had some correspondence with the soil scientist, Joe Thoreau. It's my understanding that some wetlands were clear cut within the F series of wetland flags, which are located roughly 500 or 600 feet south of this area.
They're not shown on this plan.
They're not shown on, I haven't seen them personally. It just came up, and I apologize. I'm not really prepared to speak about that this evening.
Okay, thank you. And am I right too that and I'm voicing these concerns for the benefit of the whole commission, that not all of the wetland flags have been located on this site. I mean, wetlands have been flagged, but you yourself haven't located those flags. Is that?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. We surveyed the wetland flags in this area.
That's worrisome, if only because there's some concern as to whether Mr. LeBlanc intends to continue his mining operation or land clearing or whatever he intends to do here.
Forestry.
Would you? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but can you estimate the quantity of material that you believe has been mined from this site?
Right now, no.
The non-binding.
I'm sorry, I cannot.
Okay, all right. That, as you probably are aware, is a question. Do other commissioners have questions about this? So I will just be upfront. These questions.
I have a ton of questions,
Please,
but it's usual. It seems to come back to the cart and the horse. Here's somebody up there and they say, it's our land, I want to do this, and I don't care about the regulations. And then it winds up that we go up and we say, hey, you screwed up, fix it. It's a power game, and we don't have the money to play it the way that some of these guys do. But we can't approve this tonight because it doesn't have the information that we need. You're correct. We need to see where those wetland flags are. Why did they clear cut in the wetlands? I mean, this is stupidity and arrogance that bothers me. But the report, the application is missing data for us to be able to take any action on it.
Isn't
Plus,
this
it's
a new application?
It's a new application.
So we wouldn't take action tonight anyhow. We probably should do a site walk.
That's what I said. We can't do it anyway.
That's right.
But it's still, they're up there doing the work like they don't care if there's a permit required. They don't care if they're going to damage something. They're going to do their job. And it bothers me that there can't be some sort of a compromise.
Well, our hope is that the work has been stopped for the time being. But I agree with Commissioner Morano that first of all, we could not approve this in any case. I think we need to do a site walk. Other commissioners have comments or questions they want to share?
This is Margaret. Could I please ask a couple things or say a couple things?
Please do.
Daniel, can you just explain why the proposed grades don't sort of follow the contours that exist and why they're straight?
So the proposed contours are intended to represent what we assume was there from day one. I don't know what was there from day one. A lot of work had been done before we did our survey.
So the existing contours are shown as dashed lines.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering why the proposed contours don't follow the existing contours.
Well, I assume that material again was pushed from right to left downhill, and that the original contours were more straight. But I can't.
Okay.
I can't map what was there before I was there.
Okay. You can get some idea of what was there by looking at a topo map. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, because we're probably going to ask you the question again at the next meeting if you can come up with some kind of even a ballpark estimate of the amount of material that you think has been removed from the site.
Sure.
Now,
I can do that.
There's in the Zoom Docs 5, I put an email and a sketch that we got from Joe Thoreau. And Chris, can you navigate to Zoom Docs 5?
Yes, I can.
Please. This is a sketch that Mr. Thoreau emailed me from his delineations. You see this, you can see the 1F and 22F where there was some clear cutting. He highlighted it in pink. It looks like it's the northern end of that. But my question is more about with the 1G to 17G up close to Route 12. It looks like that he has that shown as a wetland there. And then when you go to the site plan, it shows that depression as an area where you want to spread fill, and it's not shown as a wetland. And I'm just wondering whether that area where he wants to spread fill was something that he delineated as a wetland. If you and the commission also might be interested in some of the comments in Joe's email, which is below this.
But Margaret, if I may, that's aerial that we just saw was a satellite view with notes drawn in, but it wasn't the survey. It doesn't really show where these areas are.
You know, because I'm in the same line of work, I couldn't help noticing that, and we can go back to the site plan and see, check the area where that G series was flagged. But you can notice here in his Joe's email, about halfway down the page, he says that this was supposed to be a shelter wood cut, but the foresters and loggers actually did clear cutting, and he's, you know, basically denouncing this practice and saying that good foresters and loggers pay for this with over scrutiny and over regulation caused when commissioners see too much of this. So, you know, this gentleman is a forester as well as a soil scientist, and he's got a lot of experience with forestry, and he feels that the wetlands were damaged here and it wasn't, you know, it was unnecessary. And so I just wanted the commission to see that. And if we could go back to the site plan now, maybe we can look and see at the area where he wants to spread the fill. Is it the same as the G series of flags?
Right.
And
So
should that G series of flags be shown on the site plan is my question.
okay, let me see what I can do here.
I don't believe the area of fill is anywhere near the G series of flags. That being said, I can understand another site walk. Some additional surveying might be appropriate here.
Agreed. Especially if there's a question about violation of the wetlands. If these guys are mining the material out, I'm curious as to why they would let it spill over the backside and get away from them. It's like throwing money away, in my opinion, but especially if they got to clean it up later. But we need to see where the wetlands are. Apparently, the person whose report we were just looking at is qualified. Is he a contractor working on this project? I remember the name. I remember meeting the man, but
sorry, which gentleman?
Trudeau. Isn't he
Joe
the one
Thoreau.
whose report we were looking at about this property?
Joe Thoreau.
Thoreau. Oh,
Yes,
he's okay. I might have the wrong man in mind.
He works on behalf of many other towns. For example, Sterling. He's very knowledgeable.
And he was reviewing the site with. He was asked to go in and review the site.
He was asked to go in and delineate wetland soils. Yes.
Okay, that's good. So we should see that on the report.
So it's clear to me, and I think to everyone, that this this application, which is a new application in any case, will need to be held over pending a site walk, which we should now schedule. And Daniel, I'm conscious of your availability. So am I right that either August 30th or September 6th would be you would be available?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I have other commissioners who would be available on either or both of those dates?
I'm available on August 30th without changing the page.
I'm
Okay.
not available the 30th, but I'm available the 6th.
All right, let me change the page.
Change the page.
September 6th. Is that the holiday weekend? I can make it.
No, the holiday weekend is the weekend before. Because the first,
The last weekend in August is a holiday weekend.
well, it's the first Monday in September. It's as early as it can possibly be this year.
Okay, so the 6th, what time?
9 o'clock?
This is Margaret. If I could
Margaret.
please say something. We're gonna do 2 site walks that day, and I think because this one could take a while, I was hoping
Oh,
to do
right,
the other site walk first at,
first.
and if we, what's the earliest you folks could realistically meet that morning? And then we can talk about when we could get to this site.
What
You know,
time is the
Do we
coffee
start at
ready?
8, or is that too early?
That's too early, I think, from my end.
What time is the coffee ready?
Could we do 9 and
I can make it, on the day of, on the 30th, or on the date we're looking at, I can make it.
I think if we get to the other site at 9, we
Yeah.
should be able to get here between 10:15 and 10:30 easily.
Okay, so I'm gonna schedule the day starting as 9 o'clock or 8 a.m.
well, 9
Okay,
o'clock? Yeah.
I'm ready, so if everybody else is, I'll hit.
Daniel,
play.
to answer your question, we'll meet you there at between 10:15 and 10:30.
Yes, sir.
Right. The other one. Thank you. And thank everyone. We have a lot more to think about with respect to this situation. The next item on the agenda is IWA 25043, Jessica Gardner, 81 Leighton Road, map 137, block 21, lot 20E, after the fact application for a barn, riding ring, and associated site work in the upland review area, remediation and stabilization of material deposited approximately 15 feet from wetland. Jessica, are you still here? I think you've been waiting patiently.
Hi, Christopher. Yes, I am.
Would you like to, and you're representing your project, is that right? So would you like to talk to us about it, about what's gone on here and
Definitely. So we had some fill that was right next to the barn that we had to take out for the riding ring. We put it behind the barn. I didn't know that I had any wetlands back there. It wasn't, I had surveyors J&D come out maybe a year prior when we added a garage onto my house, and I didn't have any wetlands documented on that. I had my neighbor file a complaint with the town. Christopher and Margaret came out the very next day. They informed me that I do have wetlands at the edge of my property. Margaret advised me what to do for erosion controls. So we put in hay bales with wooden stakes in them. We had the drop-off area sloped, so it's not a drop-off anymore. And we have seeded it. And then Christopher and Margaret came back out last week to take a look at it, and they inspected it. And I did have J&D help me file a permit after the fact because it's within 100 feet of the wetlands.
so if I can get these configured properly. So this is the after, right? This is.
Yeah, so that was the first time you and Margaret came out. So that was, yep, once we put the fill back there, that's what it looked like. And it was before we did any erosion controls.
Oh, right. So this is before rather than after.
Yep.
So, and this is perhaps, so you could talk about this. So one issue of concern was this tree that had been deposited. The water course, for the commissioner's benefit, is just over the embankment here. And you've since, on Margaret's recommendation, removed that tree.
Correct. Yep. My husband and we removed the tree, and then I had my excavator, Keith Rosinski, came in and sloped the area. It was a gradual, I think it was 3-1 or 1-3, that he came in and sloped it. And we did the hay bales and the wooden stakes, and we seeded it all.
Trying to get to those after. Daniel, yeah. If you're still here, did you want to say anything about this?
Yes. Yes. Again, Mrs. Gardner She went to construct a barn, a horse riding arena, did not realize there were wetlands on the backside of her property. Here we go. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
That's it.
Okay.
And so you can see on the left side of the page, there are some wetlands, which we took from the reference subdivision map. Approximately half the barn and half the riding arena are within 100 feet of wetlands. Again, just a mistake. Didn't realize there were wetlands there, went ahead and did this work. A neighbor complained. Since then, Jessica has installed hay bales and silt fences, erosion control. And again, no wetlands were actually disturbed.
Right. And the remediation and stabilization has been completed.
I believe so, yes.
As-
So what those photographs were you just showed?
No, those were the before. I'm going to proceed now to Margaret and I visited the site again. And on this occasion, and this, I can't really juxtapose the before and after. So here, Ms. Gardner, am I correct? This is the completed, the riding ring.
Correct.
And these are the hay bales
Yep.
that are in place. The tree is gone. And this is where you've done the reseeding and the grass was coming up.
Yes, and it was sloped as well, so it's not a drop off anymore.
Right, it was thank you. It was quite a steep drop off here,
Mhm.
and it's been appropriately graded. As you can see in this photograph in the top left. Do other commissioners have any questions or concerns?
I would like to make sure that I understand that, first of all, where is this in the town? Just for my own curiosity. But secondly, it sounds like some work was done and corrected already.
That's accurate, I think.
This is Margaret. The address is 81 Lexington Road. And I have to commend Jessica for her speedy willingness to sort things out in a record time to get back into compliance. As soon as we received the application, the work was basically completed, and she's been incredibly cooperative. And Daniel went to great lengths to get out there quickly and come in with a plan. And this is a record-breaking success story of remediation compared to some of the other ones that have taken us half a year.
Thank you, thank you.
When you fall off the horse, you get right back in the saddle.
I don't see a horse.
Oh, they're there.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
they
part
are.
of the reason I asked. That looks like a nice dressage.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, see, it looks like a very sedate spot, but okay. Good. Good.
Any other questions or concerns? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve IWA 25043.
I'd like to make a motion to approve IWA 25043 of Jessica Gardner, 81 Linton Road, map 137, block 21, lot 20E, for after the fact remediation of issues to do with building the barn, riding ring, and associated site work.
Wonderful, thank you. And why are you moved to make this motion?
Because she's responded very quickly to having it pointed out to her that she was in error of doing these things without contacting wetlands, and she's trying to fix everything that's been pointed out to her on the inspections.
Thank you. Do I have a second for that motion?
Commissioner Langer, I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Langer. And why are you in favor of this motion?
I'm approving the motion based on the fact that the property owner has responded quickly and efficiently and to resolve all issues, as well as work with our agent and to resolve it quickly.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Neill.
So we're voting on whether to accept the motion to approve this, right? That's what we're doing. They're gonna have a discussion once if it's accepted,
Oh,
right?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
should.
know, actually, to tell you the truth, this is the night that it's received, and I suppose that We're supposed to wait.
Okay, so,
Ah,
Yeah, I'll make an observation then, if we're
Right.
yeah,
right, okay, fine.
so,
Somebody made the applicant has heard me say the cart in front of the horse all night.
that's right.
Maybe
Point is well taken.
the quarterly newsletter that the First Selectman's office puts out, and maybe Amy's still on, she'll think about it, but it's a success story. It's somebody who is doing something new in town, kind of wrinkled the rules a little bit, found out about it, and fixed it. And now she's got this place that's set up and it's right. So it's
So,
a success story.
so Jessica, just so you understand, and forgive me and Margaret, I think we were enthusiastic to see you all taken care of. We cannot approve new applications. That's applications the first time they
Yeah.
are presented to the commission for technical reasons, and it has to do with whether someone wants to petition for a public hearing. I don't see happening here. Now
Very
you have,
sorry, I'll withdraw my motion.
yeah,
there you
thank
there
you.
we go.
It's a gesture of it's an indication of the commission's enthusiasm on your behalf. So you've done what you've done, both the bad and the good, and so there's nothing more really to be said about that. So what we would ask you to do is to return and for our September meeting, which is on September 9th, at which point we can then formally vote to approve your application.
Of course, Margaret did tell me that this may happen.
Okay, oh,
Yeah,
so you
okay.
were warned.
So-
I wish she had told me.
Oh,
Chair,
Yes,
Chair,
yes.
Commissioner, and Chair, one thing that sort of, and I have no umbrage with the issue here. I mean, I appreciate the perhaps oversight, but more fundamental to this would be, and this is perhaps a question directed to Margaret, our compliance officer. How did we get here? I mean, wasn't there a permit for the barn? Is no barn permit required? And would that not have to go first to planning and zoning, A, and then B, as part of that process, do we not have a existing very strict requirement that if there are wetlands, that they be brought to the attention of the commission? So I'm just trying to understand how we find ourselves in this position and how the applicant, the Ms. Gardner, who, seems to be,
For some reason, the plot plan did not show those wetlands. And so I looked at the GIS maps, and it didn't show wetlands there. And so I actually signed off on this for
Okay.
building and zoning and without going to the site. So
okay.
I probably in retrospect should have gone there and looked, and I didn't know about the subdivision map, so it's a lesson to me to be more thorough in my research before I approve applications for buildings
Right.
and so forth.
If I may,
Yes, Daniel.
again, originally this client had hired me to produce a survey map to make a in-law apartment above a garage, which you can see right there. At that point, everything was well over 100 feet from any wetlands. The wetlands are shown on the left-hand side. We were well away from that. This new barn, I think I wasn't aware of. Margaret wasn't aware of. All of a sudden there were, someone took our map and started drawing on it.
So the barn just appeared, I mean, did it go to planning and zoning then? The barn, the construction plans and that kind of thing? Or
It went to a zoning permit and a building permit.
right. And so I'm just trying to figure out, because we've had this issue is a chronic one, right? That where
Make a comment?
one commission approves something and that,
Yeah,
well,
Commissioner
that's
Morano.
that's my concern. That's
When
my
I
issue
when I
here.
came on the commission, and for decades, the procedure was that anything that was going to be built or any alterations, Wetlands would receive 3 copies of the plan. Wetlands would review it, and when they signed off on it, it would go to planning and zoning, and when they reviewed it, it would go to the building inspector, and each office had a copy of these plans, but they were not allowed to be enacted until wetland checked it first, then
Yeah.
planning and zoning, and then building. And that procedure seems to have become evaporated,
Well,
basically.
the procedure has now sort of become virtual because we're doing it on Permit Link. And I will take responsibility for having made a mistake on this one because I looked at the GIS maps. They didn't show anything. And I signed off based on looking at topo map and GIS map, and I should have looked at the survey map. And now in retrospect, I should have gone to the site.
Okay.
But I didn't, and so I definitely made a mistake in that we're inundated with so many applications that it's tempting to look at maps and rely on them as being correct. And if you look at this agenda, what's happened in the last couple of months, the amount of information that I've processed, I have to admit to certain moments of feeling circuit overload, and it's no excuse though. And I admit that I should have gone to this site, I suppose, and looked to see if there were wetlands there, but I didn't.
Okay.
Margaret, I would offer as a mitigating consideration that part of the issue here was generated by the fill that was removed from the area where the riding ring was to be, because different material had to be placed there, and that fill was pushed
Much closer than the barn.
Much closer than the barn, right, to potentially into the wetlands, and that's what set off an alarm.
Right. Well, thank you for clarifying that process, because I was concerned that, they were, Ms. Gardner didn't tell that they were on the right track, and it's an oversight on the part of the Wetlands Commission by, again, the sheer volume of activity or, human error, then that's fine too. I just want to make sure I understood it, because I thought we did, as Commissioner Morano pointed out, it did have a protocol in place, and we've encountered that type of issue in the past. So, well, thank you for clarifying. That's the only question I have.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So Ms. Gardner, we'll see you again in September. And
All right. Thank you very much.
happy trails. Thank you. All right. This brings us to, permit extensions, changes, none. We received no applications since the agenda was posted. I'm looking at notes I've already thrown on the floor. And now active violations and pending enforcement actions. We have a couple of those. The first of which is VIOL 25007. This is Ryan Crone, 41 Hill Road, map 128, map 14, lot 1, a show cause hearing for material deposited in wetlands without a permit. I'll remind everyone that the purpose of a show cause hearing is for a violator or his or her representative to show why the cease and desist order should be lifted. Ryan, are you still with us? I believe not. I suppose all I will say is that a remediation plan and a plan for the garage has been submitted and approved. And so it would seem to me to make sense for us to close this, to close the show cause hearing and to lift the cease and desist order. And so I would entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and lift the order on the Crone property.
Thank you, Commissioner Morano.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Ober. In this case, I take it the reason is obvious, right? That unless there's some other reason or other.
Well, he satisfied the conditions as put forth by the wetland inspector.
Right, the order to correct. He's complied.
Yes, the other application that we've already voted on dealt with all these things.
I recommend we proceed res ipsa allocator.
Very good. A little Latin never hurt. All right, is there any discussion? Motion made and seconded. If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So this was a motion to close the hearing and lift the order. The show cause hearing is closed and the order is hereby lifted. The next item on the agenda is VIOL 25008. This is Ronald Rowe, 0 Riverside Drive, map 55, block 65, lot 15. Show cause hearing for material deposited in the upland review area and wetlands without a permit. I think commissioners all realize that this is the same property that we discussed earlier with the application that bore Mr. LeBlanc's name. I don't know if there's any further discussion required here. It would seem to me that given the problems with the reclamation plan, the need for, which is yet to be approved, the need for a site walk, it would actually make most sense to close the show cause hearing and lift the May 7th order, which, since it is now outdated, and with the understanding the revised order will be issued. Does that make sense, Margaret?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I am, to be clear, entertaining a motion that the show cause hearing be closed and the May 7th cease and desist order to correct be lifted because outdated, with the understanding that a revised cease and desist order and order to correct will be issued. Do I have a motion?
Commissioner Langer,
Yes, Commissioner Langer.
I will make the motion as you have just described.
Spelled it out. Thank you. Do I have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Morano. I think I stated the reasoning fairly clearly, in which case I will not do a roll call vote, but I'll just do a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? If not, the show cause hearing for VOL 25008 is closed. The May 7th order is lifted with the understanding the revised order will be issued. Thank you. The next item on the agenda, and it's time for someone to remind me that we need a new set of Zoom docs, don't we? We need docs. We're getting there. 3, okay. There we go. I hope this is right. Yes, it is. This is Alejandro Madrigal, 85 Aquatic Mountain Road, map 143, block 16, lot 17H. A show cause hearing for site work and upland review area to aquatic reservoir with no IWC permit. Daniel, are you representing this? Are you still with us?
This is Margaret. I think Daniel has left, but I can say this.
Okay.
This is going to be a wetlands agent approval, and I'm
Right.
going to issue it after that we see a septic plan as required by health department. We're not at the point of needing an extension yet. And so I suggest lifting the order and closing the show cause hearing, and we'll take this forward as an application for a wetlands agent approval.
Okay, thank you. I would therefore entertain a motion to close the show cause hearing and to lift the order with the understanding that wetlands agent approval can be issued if and when NDDH approval is received. Do I have a motion to that effect?
Commissioner Langer, I'll make a motion to that effect.
Thank you, Commissioner Langer. Do I have a second on that motion?
Commissioner O'Neill, second.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. And any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? If not, then the show cause hearing for VIOL 25015 is closed and the order is lifted with the understanding that the agent approval can and will be issued if and when NDDH approval is received. The next item on the agenda is VIOL 25016. This is Christopher McGovern, 497 Riverside Drive, map 85, block 51, lot 22. This cease and desist order was closed on July 2nd, 2025. And I will prove it to you if I can scroll down here. Margaret, while I'm finding my place here, would you like to, or I can explain why we saw fit to close this order? Why am I not?
Well, we went out there and did an inspection. I think it was on July 2nd. And Mr. McGovern had gotten a survey from Daniel Blanchett that was prepared by Normandin Associates, I think around 19, it's old. And the wetlands as shown on that survey were substantially the same as the wetlands are today. And it seemed apparent that he had, the vegetation was growing and the site was naturally stabilizing. And Chris and I felt that it was the appropriate thing to do to close the order at that time. And based on the survey, and so we have the closed order in the Zoom documents as well as the survey.
Right. Sorry, I realized I was at the end of these Zoom documents rather than at the beginning. This is Madrigal.
There was never a show cause hearing for this one, so we don't need to.
We don't need to do. We don't need to do.
Don't need to do anything. This is just to inform the commission about what happened and show them the survey, which is helpful. And I wish we had it when we went there on our first site walk.
Here, I did want to share the survey just briefly to reassure everyone that, and this was a question that some commissioners had during the site walk, is how much of this recontouring of the wetlands and water courses was already in place before Mr. McGovern came into possession of the property. And this is from 1986, and those of us who were on the site walk will see that these three ponds were there. So all of that reshaping had already been done. Okay, thank you. We're moving right along. The next item on the agenda is Northeast Sand and Gravel, 695 Riverside Drive, map 63, block 58, lot 15P, discussion following the May 10th site walk. At this point, I think what I will do is entertain a motion to revoke WAA 18025 pursuant to the inland wetlands regulations of the town of Thompson.
Is there a discussion on this?
I was going to open it for discussion after the motion.
Okay.
Was
I'll second your motion.
You're seconding it. I entertained a motion. Did I not?
Yes.
You want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Make the motion. It doesn't cost any more to make a motion.
That's right.
Does anybody second it?
I'll second it for purposes of discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, discussion.
I have some
I've already
observations.
said that I think that these people and this kind of practice has exploited the town extremely. And this is the most that we can do. Certainly we have to do that. I believe we also need to, as a responsibility for the town, we need to help to expose what's going wrong and why and how to fix it. Because if there's anything toxic there, we'll never get out from underneath it. And all it takes is 55 gallons of something that's buried in all that stuff that was dumped there for no logical reason.
Thank you. Commissioner
The
O'Neill.
most we can do is revoke the application. I say, yes, that's start there and let's see what else we can do.
At least Commissioner O'Neill.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Chair. With regard to this matter, which I can see that has strong opinions on, we heard from Mr. Beck, who represents the debtor in possession. These are technical terms. What is a debtor in possession? That's real a legal issue that we should have counsel advise us on what that really means. None of us, I don't believe, are schooled in that. But it takes on. My understanding was that that entity that takes on a role of oversight and basically a trustee role to oversee the property. At the same time, we have Mr. O'Brien who what came forth from QS lending and private lending, who, suggests that, they're involved in some way. But to Commissioner Obert's concerns, there's certainly a level of outrage that I think touches most of us, if not all of us, that such a matter took place. And if nothing else comes of this, we need to know who was responsible for this, when that responsibility attached, and if there is anyone who has responsibility for this, whether direct or vicarious, meaning they let it happen, they watched it and let it happen, or they were responsible and should have acted and failed to act, then we need to root out those individuals and hold them accountable and see that they come forward and help indemnify this town to make this right. So that's just a general observation and concern. It's done, right? So now's the witch hunt, let's call it, to find items. So if any rejection is ultimately the outcome here, then it should be with extreme prejudice. Thank you.
Thank you. Other commissioners have comments? In that case, I have entertained a motion to revoke.
This is Margaret. I guess I have one comment before you close this, which is that this is a slap in the face to the people like the Rossins and Mr. DeRozier and Mr. Coleman, who hire attorneys and hire engineering companies and pay the fees and put up the bonds to abide by the law. And then you get a situation like this. And where were these the zoning enforcement officer when all this was going on? And why should these people get away with murder when the good law-abiding gravel operators toe the line? It's unfair to them as well as to everybody else.
I agree with everything that Margaret Washburn just said. I don't think it's quite as far as like a witch hunt kind of a thing. Somebody's doing wrong. I think it's more likely something that was overlooked in the standard operating procedure or some qualification that wasn't really compensated for, that we couldn't afford to buy to work for the town on behalf of the town in situations like this. We don't have anybody with the real knowledge. We're learning so much as we go along, and there's just some really freaky things happening in the last 5 or 6 years, just in this town. The way that the gravel mine moves out, and every house that went in changed the way the water came off of the northeast corner of the town. We've got all these little issues, all these little examples of people who just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. And Margaret's apologizing for not having enough hours in the day. We're not paying her for it.
Well, in this case, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And it should have been caught. But why wasn't it? Was it malicious, or was it simply oversight, overlooked?
Well, I want to be sure that Commissioners Morano and Langer are heard from if they have something to say. Do either of you wish to add any comments?
I pretty much said my piece. I think that historically we've had a system of checks and balances in town where the different commissions work together. And my sense is that that's more difficult now, maybe because things have become virtual, or maybe because people are located in different places.
Did we inadvertently change that with the zoning ordinances that we changed and our own ordinances? Did we accidentally leave something off? And then we have turnover. We've had Dan before Margaret, and we've had we were spoiled for so many years with Marla. And I said it at the time, we're losing a lot of corporate knowledge. There's a lot of things that people know to do that aren't written down anywhere. We're losing them.
Well, we
This
certainly have.
this may be part of that. I don't think it was anybody at town hall or anywhere else that sat up and said, gee, if I just do this, that'll teach them all a lesson. I don't think so. It was just,
Well,
you know,
I think it's been noted that we have a pattern here of, to say the least, a failure of oversight, whether it's deliberate or not. And I'm hearing some very important points being raised that are worth, it would seem to me, enumerating and putting in writing. And this is quite apart from the motion that I'm entertaining. But it is I suppose, a question for the commission, whether it would be worth doing that. I imagine that this is a document that would be presented to the selectmen and to others perhaps as well. How it would be drafted is another issue, whether it's something that could be drafted and then circulated, whether it would, and then eventually discussed in a meeting. But I'd be willing to certainly to help with, if not take the lead with that, if that's something the commission would like to pursue.
I'll help you with it.
Okay.
It does seem to me like something might have gotten pushed aside accidentally in the final edit or something. I'll help you look for it. I agree, and I think I'm voting to revoke the permit for all the reasons we've already said. I think that's the consensus. I think that's going to carry. But I also agree with what you said. Maybe it's kind of funny. My mother used to say, whoever recognizes the need is the person to solve the problem. And we're recognizing a need.
Yes.
And we might be the first people in the whole state of Connecticut to recognize it. So yeah, whatever we come up with should be correct. It should be for the town, should be for NECOG, it should be for the state. It should be a model that says, when you're doing this in a small town, don't overlook these things.
Well, Margaret, since the evening is getting on and we have more work to do, perhaps we'll talk about putting that on the agenda for our next meeting. I know there's been talk about doing it before, but I think this conversation, I know it becomes part of the record of this meeting, but I think what I'm hearing a lot of people say needs to be heard by more than just us, or by more than just the people who are in attendance at this meeting.
What do you exactly want to call it on the agenda?
Perhaps we can work that out. I think it's something to do with drafting a document that would go to the selectmen and to other town officials as well, that a document that documents the pattern of, I'm going to call it, failure that has resulted in costs to the town, costs to the environment. That's the best I can do for now, and that's too long for agenda item. But I think
it's important that we reconcile the existing places where these things are talked about in planning and zoning and inland wetlands, just to make sure that that isn't the reason. The idea, it's going to take some time, and I'm willing to start reading that stuff sooner rather than later, so we can have a report about it.
All right, so we're looking for a motion to vote now, correct?
we are looking for a motion to revoke WAA 18025.
Well, I thought we had that.
We have the motion.
Oh, do we have the motion? Okay, I can't remember who made it.
Do we have a second?
Commissioner O'Neill.
Yes.
I will second it if there's no second.
Commissioner Obert seconded.
Okay,
Thank you, Gloria. It is getting late. All
Yeah.
right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those, and I will say that my reasons for voting in favor are the reasons I articulated during the public hearing, and I think others have expressed their reasons here tonight. Do I have any opposition? Do I have any abstentions? If not, WAA 18025 is revoked. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is VIOL 25019, Ethan Golden and Molly Gunther, 115 Chase Road, map 105, block 33, lot 22. This is a show cause hearing for material deposited in the upland review area and or wetlands without a permit. Mr. Golden or Ms. Gunther here tonight? Is there anyone representing the? So Margaret, I think that this is well explained in your report. I think we have discussed it before. We had a cease and desist order and a small amount of material that was deposited inadvertently or not in the wetlands, and we met with the violator, and he agreed to its removal to our satisfaction, and with the provision that the removal would take place when the poison ivy had died back. Have I got that right?
Right, and we were gonna inspect in May of next year.
Right. Right, in which case that seems to me a fairly compelling reason for closing the show cause hearing and lifting the order. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Thank you.
Commissioner Langer, I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Langer. Do we need reasons for this?
They can just say it if they feel that it's for the reasons you stated.
Wonderful. That we are satisfied that the cease and desist order and the order to correct will be complied with. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? If not, the show cause hearing for VIOL 25019 is closed and the order is lifted. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is VIOL 25024, Quinnipiac Country Club, Incorporated, 241 County Home Road, map 109, block 34, lot 2. This is a show cause hearing for depositing material in the wetlands and our watercourses without a permit. And now I need to go to a different set of Zumba docs, I believe. There we go. Whoops. Is that right? That is right. Okay. So I'm going to close those out, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to share this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. Okay. Oh, I'm going to go back. This is Mr. Rooney. This is where is our quintessence?
I think you were on it back there when you had the soil test results.
Oh, up at the beginning?
Yeah.
These are Zoom Docs 4, right? And oh, sorry, this should be 12. I got that page number right here. There we go. Okay. All right. Are there any representatives from Quinnipiac here this evening?
Yes, Paul Archer with Archer Surveying here representing Quinnipiac.
Mr. Archer, welcome.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk to us about what you've done here and what remains to be done.
Well, I mean, we had a nice site walk there, and I really think if anybody can look at the pictures, they can understand that they've done a very good job in remediation of the areas that was basically disturbed. So there was no really disturbance in a wetland sort of course. It was just the sediments that they were using to level out the areas which washed down into the watercourse and washed across the street. And one of the biggest left opening things that we had was we had sent the composition of the soil out to Rhode Island, to Yukon, and to see if it really had clay in it, but it really came back like everybody had thought, that it was just a silty loam, which is very positive. so that led us to believe that, you know, the clay, so the silt will just wash out down below. But I mean, with the pictures, and you guys were out there, you saw that everything is pretty much stabilized from what they had done before, prior to when they were, you know, redoing the lawns.
I'm going to apologize. I can't seem to rotate these pictures the way I was. So you'll all have to just take your computer screen and turn it on its side.
That right there is just a stream coming across. I mean, one of the things the last time we were out there was talking was that picture right there. You can see where we had put in some stone check dams. And the stone, basically with the water flowing through, has pretty much flattened out the check dams. So we had talked out there about the removal of that pea stone and to remove it at the time when there is no flow in the stream. And I think everything else is pretty much done very well by Mother Nature doing it. And I think with the they hydroseeded everything, and I think there's grass starting to grow, and I think there's the stabilization to the disturbed area has taken very well.
Thank you. So Margaret, go ahead, please.
I'd like to suggest that you entertain a motion to close the show cause hearing, lift the order, and revised order will be issued to address removing the pea stone from the stream channel.
Exactly. So that will be covered under a revised order to correct rather than a separate application. So I will entertain a motion in this case to close the show cause hearing on VIOL 25024 and to lift the order with the understanding that a revised order will be issued requiring the removal of the pea stone when the conditions are appropriate.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Thank you. Do I have a second on that?
Commissioner Langer, I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Langer. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposition? Any abstentions? In that case, the show cause hearing for VIOL 25033, I'm getting ahead of myself. For VIOL 25024 is closed and the order is lifted with the understanding that a revised order will be issued. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Archer, for waiting so patiently.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah, ours hasn't begun yet. The next one is an item on the agenda is VIOL 25033. This is Robert Mooney, 66 Logie Road, map 141, block 17, lot 184G. Show cause hearing for site work, including constructing a retaining wall on the edge of Aquatic Reservoir with an unapproved application. So we needed a revised plan that showed work on the adjacent lot. We needed the owner of that lot to sign off on the application. That plan has been received. It's been approved. It would seem to me to make sense to close this hearing and lift this order. So I will entertain a motion to that effect.
Commissioner Langer, I'll place a motion based on your description.
Thank you. Do I have a second on that motion?
Commissioner O'Neill.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Neill, for seconding. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? If not, then the show cause hearing for VIOL 25033 is closed and the order is lifted. For the same reason, I'm going to the cease and desist order for VIOL 25034 has already been closed. This was Aquatic Camping Area Incorporated 0 Logie Road, map 141, block 17, lot 184H, the lot adjacent to Mr. Mooney's lot. And here the show cause hearing was for site work, including constructing an access way in the upland review area to Aquatic Reservoir without an application for a permit. We have since received an application that includes that work and has been signed by the owner of this lot, which is why our wetlands enforcement agent has closed the order. Moving on to the next agenda item.
Hang on a second, please. This is Margaret.
Hi, Margaret.
You should entertain a motion to close the show cause hearing for violation 25034
Oh, I see. Okay, even
Order
though
was, the order was lifted, but the show cause hearing should be closed.
remains in force. Okay, so, or remains open. Thank you. Okay, so because the cease and desist order for VOL 25034 has been closed or lifted, I will entertain a motion that is a reason for closing the show cause hearing on this violation. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I have a motion. I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have
Commissioner
a second?
O'Neill,
Thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. Do I have a second?
violation of 25034 be closed.
Thank you. Do I have the show cause hearing be closed? Do I have a
Yes.
second?
Commissioner Langer, I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 The opposition? Any abstentions? If not, the show cause hearing for VOL 25034 is hereby closed. The next item on the agenda is VIOL 25037. This is Jessica and Joshua Gardner, 81 Leighton Inn Road, map 137, block 21, lot 20E. Show cause hearing for depositing material in the 100-foot upland review area without a permit. Margaret, what do you think we should do? The remediation plan has been executed. Is there any reason not to close this hearing and lift this order, or should we wait?
No, I recommend doing the, entertaining a motion to close the show cause hearing and lift the order.
Okay, because it's all been done.
I'll make that motion to, for violation 25037 of Jessica and Joshua Gardner, 81 Letton Road, map 137, block 21, lot 20E. Make a motion to close the hearing and lift the order.
I second the
They have
motion.
satisfied all the conditions that were pointed out to them.
Requirements. Thank you for Commissioner Morano making that motion, Commissioner O'Neill seconding that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions?
Who seconded that one?
Commissioner
O'Neill.
Commissioner O'Neill.
Thank you.
Thank you. The show cause hearing for VOL 25037 is hereby closed and the order is lifted. Thank you. This brings us to other business, which is no less interesting than what we've been discussing up until now. So I will, I think we're still in, we're out of 4, right? So we're back into 3. The first item of business here is a complaint received from, sorry, that's for that closes, from Carol Mead. It's complaint number 25014 regarding 192 Linehouse Road, Christine Lorkowitz, map 36, block 69A, lot 2B, digging in the 100-foot upland review area without a permit. So Margaret, if I'm understanding this correctly, there's no action to be taken on this tonight. We are waiting for a request from Ms. Lorkowitz for a jurisdictional ruling. Is that the case?
Right.
Okay.
There are some photos in an inspection report if you wanted to see that.
I do want to, I want to share that with the commissioners. So, and this is on page, if I'm not mistaken,
41 of 121.
88? Okay.
41 of 121.
Oh, it's not 88 of 91? Oh, where are we? 88 of, okay. I thought it was 88.
Oh, wow.
Of 121.
Okay, 88.
Are we right? Maybe I got this wrong. There we go. Okay, and so here is the Wetlands Agent's report. And here are the pictures. Let's see if I can rotate these. Ah, yes. That was nice to see them straight up. So, Margaret, do you want to say anything about what we're seeing here? It's
the drainage system has failed because of silt. It's clogged up. And she started digging. She didn't know where her septic system was. The health department said, stop digging until you know where your septic system is. And she agreed to apply for a declaratory ruling for use, I think, associated with the, living in a single family home. And so she's going to have to give us a drawing, and health department's going to have to approve. And we can theoretically issue her a declaratory ruling.
Okay. Theoretically, we could actually.
Right.
Okay, thank you. I should have asked, is either she or Ms. Mead here tonight?
Ms. Mead is.
Is she? Okay, she's welcome to speak, if this has had an impact on her property. And it is her complaint. In any case, she we've also received from Carol Mead complaint number 25015 regarding the Providence and Worcester Railroad bed between Lionhouse Road and LaPorte Road. No map, block, or lot number, middle of nowhere. Culvert for Shunway Brook altered on the upstream side, rail bed widened, and wetlands, significant wetlands, I would add, apparently filled without a permit, fill stockpiled on rail bed. So this is a site that Margaret and I visited on August 6th. And I'm not sure these photographs really do it justice.
Is that adjacent to her property?
Yes, well, it's adjacent. She owns the ponds. She owns the water on the north side that you're looking at there.
Right.
So the watershed to Shunway Brook is quite vast, and we need to make sure that this culvert is operational for many years to come. And let me explain a little background. That today I was able to talk to representative from the railroad, and he's here with us tonight, Brent Azo, and he's also got a gentleman from an environmental consulting company called TRC, which is a national company, who's going to work towards they've taken responsibility for the work, and they are going to work towards getting back into compliance, and they are willing to attend a site walk, which I suggest we do on August 30th.
Or September 16th.
Before we go to the Hemlock Properties.
I think it's September 6th, Margaret.
I'm sorry. Yep. Sorry.
So I will turn the
No,
floor.
it's August 30th that our sidewalk is.
Oh, I thought we set it up for, I'll have to look back at the minutes. Either is fine. Commissioner Morano cannot attend on August 30th. Is that right, Commissioner Morano?
Correct.
You're there.
That's what I understood. I understood we were scheduling an appointment starting at 9 o'clock in the morning on the 6th.
On the 6th
of September.
Okay, and this was under this was
multiple site walks.
All right, I'm sorry, getting late.
Yeah. Okay.
That was under Hemlock.
That's right.
Everybody agrees that it was on. I have written down August 30th at 10:30.
I think that was, I proposed two dates, August 30th and September 6th, and Commissioner Morano's indicated that she was unable to attend August 30th. And I did not hear anyone say they were unable to attend September 6th.
Okay, so all the rest of you think it's on September 6th?
So, sorry, who just spoke about?
If everyone else can go and I'm the only one who can't, I defer to them, and I maybe can go out with Margaret or go check it out myself.
Well, Daniel already agreed to a date, and I want to know what date. You guys are all saying it was September 6th?
Yes,
That's what
the minutes will say September 6th.
And
Okay, I'm sorry, it's my mistake.
That's fine. That's fine.
Mr. Chair, when you proposed those dates, I said I was available on the 30th, but
Yeah.
Fran wasn't. I said, okay, then let's make the other one. I could make either date. And if it would be overworking and overloading the schedule to see all these at one time, I'm perfectly willing to split it up and make it manageable for Margaret as well.
I think we can.
It's 9 o'clock on September 6th to meet here on Linehouse Road is the idea, and then go to, it's not far to the other site.
I would like to, Mr. Brandt, to speak to us. I will just, for the commissioners, to help orient them. So this is this the north facing? This is the upstream culvert, right, Margaret, at the top of these?
Right, and there's a much better map now in the version 5 Zoom docs to show these folks where this culvert is. It's
okay.
The railroad bed runs between Linehouse Road. It's east of Linehouse Road, and then it comes out on the west side of Laporte Road.
Okay. Are the
We should
photographs?
probably start with that map so they can get oriented.
Okay, all right. I was gonna try not to hop back and forth, but that seems to make sense to me. So here is 5. I'll close 3. I'll share this. And we're back here. So this is the map you're talking about, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. And here is the culvert location.
Right.
And here is the railroad bed.
And may I understand who is the one that's going to undertake the replacement and improvement of the culvert?
Well, that we'll hear from Mr. Brent. I did want to just I will quickly revert to
Brent Azio? Yes,
Yeah.
he's taking his mute off.
Brent Azo. And I hope
Azo,
this is
what
okay
are-
for me to
feel
see.
free.
I'm actually in Florida myself, so I'm not on site.
Brag about it.
We do have representatives from the railroad that are more local on site. I did speak with Margaret earlier this morning to discuss the issues that were identified, and part of it was part of the corrective action, we'll say, is to evaluate the structural integrity of the culvert just to confirm that it is intact. I don't think there's a plan specifically identified for what's to be done. I think that's to be evaluated to confirm what needs to be done, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. You need more detail. And then the owner of the right of way is a railroad, and they're going to undertake the repair.
The owner of the right of way is the railroad. We would
Because I know it's not an active right of way, but if you're going to undertake it, fine. That needs to be done.
Can I ask a question?
Who is that Ms. Mead?
Yes.
Yes, please. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Of course you may ask the question.
I just figured out how to turn the audio on. I apologize. That's why I didn't answer before. I was trying to figure it out. Never done a Zoom before, but this is really important to me. I would also, number one, I would question why, if it's been working for over 200 years, all of a sudden they destroyed the inlet and the outlet of the culvert. And the other point, what happened to those railroad ties? Are they soaking in that water and covered over with the fill? That is toxic. Those railroad ties are full of creosote, and that's going to seep into my waters and my pond, which have been deemed some of the cleanest water in the state of Connecticut by the Audubon. I'm just so upset. Where did all the railroad ties go? Because nothing was taken out of there. It was a little secretive little path that went down. I have close-up photos of all of it. I didn't get them ready for this, but I'm getting very upset. But what if they were buried in standing water, in standing wetland? What's to keep them from leaching the creosote chemicals out into that waterway which connects to mine?
Excuse me, do you know when those rails were removed?
Yes, they were removed 2 weeks ago. They have been there. The turtles, the snapping turtles, use them as nesting grounds. I go there every single spring, and the railroad ties were there and intact.
They were in the water?
No, I don't know where they went when they flattened it, when they took out about 60 feet of, it went from 14 feet, the walkway, to 46 feet. And all that debris was pushed into the wetland on either side. About 60 trees were pushed over and flopped onto Mr. Cortis's land. And I don't know where the railroad ties are. There's not a gray stone, the sharp stones that are placed between the railroad ties that don't really move around.
The
road
trap
bed.
stone. They
Yes.
call it trap stone.
There's not a stone
And
in
ballards.
sight. There's not a railroad tie in sight.
And
So
who
that-
in the last few weeks somebody has gone up there and removed all that stuff?
Yes, in the last 2 weeks. Yes.
But who? Because that's not an active railroad.
They said,
It's
they
not,
told
it's not
Margaret
an
it was
active
the,
right of way.
they told Margaret it was the railroad that went and did the work.
Maybe we should be asking Mr. Azo.
Please, I need to know that because that.
Well, let's let him answer some of these questions. I think that would be a good idea.
And I hope it's okay. Again, I'm not on that railroad. I'm in Florida myself. Again, there is another representative that may be able to answer that. Bobby, do you mind if I turn it over to you if you have any additional details on the activities?
Yes. Robert Garland, General Manager at the PNW. So as far as the railroad ties go, I think that they were so deteriorated, the majority of like the bottoms of them are gone. He did the excavating, they just deteriorated, like pushed up into those big mounds. Like there wasn't like fully normal ties that were extracted. As far as the stone, I don't know if you're talking about ballast. I think that rail line hasn't been used in so long, you know, that ballast is just turned over in the field as well.
I couldn't quite make out what you just said.
No, I couldn't either.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I got the computer on one side.
Yeah.
Microphone's on that. So just to repeat what I said, can everybody hear me a little more clearly?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Garland, thank you.
Yes, sir. So I think when he excavated the soil, pushed it up, those railroad ties are just so old. I don't know how old they were. I think the majority of them had already deteriorated, and so it just splintered and fell apart in the dirt that they pushed up on into the mounds.
And
Perhaps this gentleman that just spoke is the one that needs to answer if he can. I'm still at a loss to figure out why anybody has gone up there and done the work that we see in those photographs. They're not restoring the railroad right of way, and it's let sleeping dogs lie. That thing has been there for 200 years, and now in the last few weeks, because of activity that was deliberately directed in there by somebody that you know of, for reasons that you can explain, they went in and they damaged that culvert. And now we're faced with the possibility of replacing it and inland wetlands regulations.
Right.
Am I missing something? Why does he go in there and do that?
I'm sorry, Mr. Garland, you go ahead, please.
Yeah, yes, sir. Robert Garland speaking again. So a couple points. The reason we went there to begin with is because an abutter, Jeffrey Coder, I think he lives west of Miss Mead's or east of Miss Mead's property. He will call periodically, or he has called here recently to have us clean out that culvert because it gets full of debris, and then the pond floods up onto the backside of his property. So what we were doing is we were cleaning out the culvert. Now that culvert was not intentionally altered or destroyed. What happened is that top stone from where the side of it had deteriorated fell in, and it was one of the obstacles that was blocking the culvert. So he lifted that stone up out of the water and set it over on the bank. So that's the reason that they were there, Mr. Obert.
Okay. So you went up to try to make a neighbor happy. The guy used his backhoe, grabbed a hold of a piece of rock and moved it. But the culvert's still blocked up, or it is in these photographs.
Well, it's just, go ahead, Mr.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, I was just going to say that, but I thought I heard someone else's voice. Did somebody
It
else?
was me.
Yeah.
If I can say something,
Yeah.
if you would like me to, I will go and I will photograph the railroad ties between my two ponds. I own on both sides of the railroad track bed. Those railroad ties are strong, they're intact.
Yeah.
I will take a picture of those. I will take a picture of the gray rocks that are clearly visible between each railroad tie. And in regards to Mr. Kader, someone should go and look at the back of his property, which is, I believe, deemed wetland, where he clear cut all the trees, and he also took down 7 200-year-old oak trees in his yard. Now, if he wants to complain about his yard being wet, he should start right there.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well, we're going to go up and look at the site. And
Commissioner Obert, if I may, yeah, exactly. I was, first of all, I do want to say that Mr. Garland is attending this meeting in good faith to help us to move forward with whatever corrective action might be required. And we are very appreciative of that. And it sounds to me like we're getting a little ahead of ourselves with respect to what's going on here, that a lot of these questions could be answered by a site walk, which is what we need to schedule.
This is Margaret. Has anybody taken a chance to read the inspection report yet so we can just get them oriented with what we saw?
Sure. I think that's a good idea.
no, I hadn't seen those photographs until just now. I think it's important and worth noting, even in the record, that representatives from the railroad are working with us to solve this problem. I know that right of way because we tried to put it into the bike path route in the area, but neighbors don't want it. That's why I asked the woman on the iPhone, Mrs. Mead, when did they pull up those rails? When did they actually?
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Well, I mean, the train used to go from Southbridge down that right of way, looped up, went across Webster, down across Webster Lake, and came into East Thompson up near the tri-state marker.
So I'm going to read the inspection report. In response to a complaint from Carol Mead and a request from Brian Golumwich of Connecticut DEEP, IWC Chairman Christopher Dustin and I inspected and took photos. The weather was partly cloudy in the low 80s. I need to enlarge this because my eyes are bad. And it had not rained for about 5 days. We walked from Linehouse Road toward the culvert under the rail bed. There is a question as to whether the railroad still qualifies as utility since the tracks have been removed. Excavated material has been stockpiled on both sides of the rail bed where it was excavated for about 100 feet at the culvert. The excavated bed over the culvert is about 45 feet wide versus about 15 feet wide in unexcavated areas. Vegetation on the steep bank on the north side of the culvert was cleared for a length of about 40 feet. And this is continued. And trees were deposited on the bank. There is considerable erosion on that side. No sediment controls were observed. The culvert has flowing water with what appears to be organic debris partially blocking it, apparently put there by beavers. It looks like the beginning of a beaver dam with mud, woody material, and green vegetation. We estimate that about 100-foot length of the rail bed was excavated. The pile of fill on the rail bed to the east is about 10 feet high. On the west, it is slightly less. Where the bed was excavated and widened, excavated material was placed on the steep northern and southern banks, has made its way into the wetlands on both sides of the rail bed. And I believe there's another. No evidence was observed that the culvert was deliberately clogged by human activity. We observed and photographed one large lintel stone that may have been removed from the head wall of the culvert on the north side. The head wall of the culvert on the north side appears to have been altered. It was unclear how the heavy equipment was moved to the area that was excavated. The rail bed on either side looks undisturbed and vegetated. The bollards and signs on the rail bed near Linehouse Road appear to be undisturbed. That is what made us uncertain about how the access was achieved. So what I'm going to suggest here is that a lot of these questions, if Margaret and I inspected this site on August the 6th, it was fairly clear to us that this activity was not all that recent. Whether ties have been deposited in the wetlands, which if so, that would be very serious indeed. That's a question that can be answered, I think, by a site walk, as can the question about the stone. So I'm sorry, I've gone on speaking for a long time, but unless anyone else has anything else to say, I think the next order of business would be to set up that site walk. Mr. Garland, are you able to attend that site walk?
Oh, yes, sir, absolutely.
That would be enormously helpful. Thank you very much. Does anyone else have anything to say about this matter?
Well, I guess we should agree that we'll meet at the Linehouse intersection with the rail bed and park on Linehouse Road and at 9 o'clock on September 6th.
Okay. Are we all agreed to that?
9 a.m. on September 6th.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I want to offer my sincere thanks to Mr. Garland, and I'm sorry, the name of the person from Florida is
Brent Azo.
Azo, of course. Interesting name. Thank you both for being here and for willingness to help sort this out. Thank you, Ms. Mead, for bringing it to our attention. I think given its location, we would have been unaware of what is, after all, a threat to a significant wetlands and to the railroad right-of-way, albeit abandoned, and to the abutting property owners. So it is something that we need to take very seriously. Thank you all. I think we should move on. We have only a few items left on our agenda. There is no budget report because there is no budget, as residents of Thompson are well aware.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, I call your attention to item H. Have we overlooked that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, citizens' comments. We have overlooked that. Yes. Thank you very much. And those are important. So at this point, I would like to open the floor to citizens to offer any comments that they would like to share with commissioners at this time. I know we still have some visitors with us. I'm not hearing anyone, but it is vitally important that we allow time for that. So thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. So then we go back to the budget that is not a budget report. We have, yes.
Chairman Essen, this is David Langer. I would reference that within Margaret's report on page 6, she did take the time to list the expenditures that have taken place recently. That we don't have a budget report, report that the expenditures are traditional and typical expenditures that we have on an average month, and there's nothing that is outstanding or cautionary.
Thank you. That was going to be my next question to you. As our what do we call you? What do we call you?
Treasurer.
Treasurer. That's
Treasurer. There we go.
Financial advisor. I don't right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a lot of Shopper's Guide encumbrances is what I see. Okay, we have two more items under correspondence. We have an email from the building official regarding 192 Sunset Hill Road, an unpermitted structure and associated site work, possibly in the Upland Review area to Sunset Brook. And we have an accompanying cease and desist order from the zoning enforcement officer for the same property, unpermitted structure and associated site work. There is no action needed from us on either of these. We have a, Margaret, what do we have? We have a wetland soil report. Is that right? I have a note to that effect. Is there a next step on these?
No, well, I can just tell you that I've been talking to the owner and he's moving towards getting into compliance with everybody, including the zoning official, the building official, and the health department. He built this structure with no permits from anybody, and he put a solar array, and the structure has burned twice because the solar array, the batteries were not inspected or installed properly, and he put in this makeshift septic system that runs on earthworms, and he has come to the realization that he's going to have to get some permits from the various entities, and he's working towards that. He's come to see me and brought his wife, and He had the wetlands delineated as a start, and so
Okay.
he's working towards compliance.
Thank you. Did were the worms barbecued when the structure?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so we'll wait to hear about this. The next item on the agenda is the signing of Mylars. I have signed no Mylars since we last met. The final item on the agenda is comments by commissioners. I
I
would
have
like,
two things, please.
yes, Commissioner Ober.
The first might be a red herring, or it might be a can of snakes. The last application that we were looking at this evening on Little Pond, we were all concerned about where the retaining wall was and where the neighboring property was and work that they were doing there. And just as we were getting ready to turn it off, I looked at it, I says, where's the septic system on this thing?
Which application are you talking about?
Across the street.
It's on page 75 on, it's an aquatic lake, I guess.
Yeah, it's across.
It's across the street.
It's at an
The
intersection.
septic is
where there's-
across the street. Okay, it just didn't show up on the drawing. Good, it was a false alarm. The other thing though, I was asked if I could go and look at, be present for a report about the North Grosvenor Dale Dam.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you got a report. I asked them to submit a report, and then we got the mix up with the last month's meeting, and I nearly forgot about it. But the point is, the plan that we were talking about is a remediation plan, talks about lowering the water level and remediating specifically the overflow situation. This guy was not looking at reactivating the floodgates and that nice little mill race that goes down along the side. Currently, it's all choked out with algae. But he was talking about a different place on the lake. But the guy that bought the mill and bought the dam is interested in hydro. He's interested in that cosmetic stuff. I went over to talk about any issues that I could see with inland wetlands. They're probably going to be bringing in an application next month for the work that they need to do in the stream bed in order to remediate the dam. Looks like short term, looks like it's not going to be a big issue. But that was the hat that I was looking at the day of the meeting. And as soon as I walked away, I thought, yeah, but economic development, we're all talking about things like that. And I had the mill owner, the developer there, and I missed the opportunity to talk to him about it. I'm just guilty of that stuff. It looks like it will rehabilitate the dam. It looks like it will prevent it from being a catastrophic failure. But I didn't get the impression that he really did a complete survey on the upstream side. He spoke about a pyramid shape on the design, but he did not say that the upstream side met that. He spoke about it being desirable, but he spoke about it in a way that my ear was saying he doesn't know.
Because it's 10:30 at night, Charlie, can we talk about it once we get the application?
That's a
Would
good.
that be okay?
Yeah, did you get the report?
I saw a report.
It should be a fairly thick report. I only saw the summary pages.
I saw the report.
You're right. I just don't want to forget about it again for another 2 months.
Thank you for going to that sidewalk.
Thank you. And catastrophic failures are always best avoided. So
yeah, and they are addressing that. So that was our major concern, as far as I was concerned that day.
So speaking of catastrophic, whatever, it is incumbent upon me to bid farewell to Commissioner O'Neill after how many years of service on this commission?
I want to say at least 7.
What?
Okay.
You're just getting broke in.
It seems like one commission, my term was ended in about, it was 2 5-year terms, and I think I'm halfway through the second one, so at least 7.
Thanks for
course,
all you've done. You brought a fresh, an insight that I wasn't thinking of on a lot of things.
Very articulate. Of course, it's only farewell for half the year as far as your residency is concerned.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Commissioner Chair.
will miss you in
If I
your-
could take a comment or two here. I want to thank everyone for all their insights and the opportunity to share views on these matters. I know that inland wetlands has been a important part of Thompson, and certainly in my experience, both professionally and non-professionally, I do a lot of commercial real estate work in my business, and I've been involved with many environmental issues throughout the United States and actually outside of the United States. So it's something that's really insightful. It doesn't show up on my resume because I'm not an engineer, but I'm a business guy and I have to make business decisions on things like this. And it's been a unique and very distinct pleasure to serve the town in the capacity as a volunteer. I know much is made of volunteers in the town, and it's hard to find folks. And tried to bring a level of reasonableness. If we're not out to get people, we're out to help them. I think that's the goal. I think for everyone, at least that's my goal. And those that are repeat offenders, that's something else altogether. But so to that, I want to thank each and every one of you. It's been a pleasure working with you all, and thank you, Commissioner Dustin. Looks like you're got everything in hand, and I can see that our commissioners are well steeped in the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Act, and with Margaret at the as your guide, I think you'll do great things in the future. As for Sandra and I, we're going to probably spend most half of the year in Florida going forward, and that's I didn't really feel it was right to stay on the commission if I wasn't here. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you know anyone, send them our way. Although
I will. Yeah. Okay. We'll do.
Thank you. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can I say something really quick?
Technically, the time for citizens' comments has passed, but sure, please. Go ahead.
It's just 2 words. Thank you very much. Oh, that's more than 2 words. I'm sorry. Bye. Bye. Thank you very, very much for listening. Thank you.
Hope to see her on the day of the sidewalk. I want to see where those ties are.
Okay.
I'll make a
George?
motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Okay,
George, you don't want to take this last one?
It's all yours. I'm done.
Okay.
I
think
I'll
I
make a
heard a
motion
motion
to adjourn.
Everyone
second.
vote tomorrow, please. And that'll be my final words.
Yes, vote tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Darn, we
Thank
need
you.
twice that budget.
I think that planning and zoning still has this beat for length of absurdly long meetings, but we had a lot of work to do tonight. We did it well.
Commissioner Dustin, who made the motion to adjourn?
I think it's
David.
hard.
Who?
Let's say Commissioner
David.
Langer, Commissioner Langer.
Seconded. No
And-
debate.
Ober, but we'll say that Commissioner O'Neill was an honorary.
Yes.
second the motion.
There you
So-
go.
And
He
Lang-
voted
Commissioner
no. He
Langer
wants to
seconded?
keep talking.
So
don't
Commissioner
know.
Langer made the motion, Commissioner Obert seconded it.
Oh,
Good night,
okay.
everybody.
Good
Okay.
night.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
I'll read
Bye.
that stuff and get back to you, David, or Chris. See if I can